Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Caru.
And this is the Nerdy,
the Wordy,
the Book Club. Welcome back. This is Words of Radiance. This is our part 5, but not part 5, because that's next week. This is actually the second half of part 4 and 3 interludes, 2 of which very short, 1 of which very long.
Yeah. Instead of making them all kind of similar, it was like, let's just balance them out.
Yeah. That's kind of been the interludes in this book, because in the first section, the lift one was an hour.
And the other 2 were very, very short.
The middle ones were all kind of 20 minutes, and then this one, 20 minutes. I'm talking about the audiobook. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing?
Howdy.
We got
Howdy
some
doody.
early thank yous here. Johnny Coleman, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Welcome to the Nerds Radiant.
Dang.
Kayla, welcome back. Member for 13 months. Come back, Syl. We miss you. Syl's dead.
How dare you?
So, that one's on you, Kayla. And Blue, member for 32 months.
Damn.
Here we go again.
Yeah, and
On
again.
my own.
And again, and again, and again.
Going down the only road I ever known.
Wow, it's really early for that.
Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone.
Although I feel like for a lot of people, this isn't early.
Yeah, no, it's like 6 o'clock in the...
We're just fucking...
In the EU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby.
Clarus.
Happy anniversary.
Oh my god, you're right.
I know. I woke up at 4 in the morning and I was like, oh, fuck. Cheers.
Oh my god,
Happy
cheers.
anniversary. Guys, we're really good at this.
Wait. Yeah, we got married 4 years ago today.
Yeah.
And we both forgot.
Yeah.
Did you get me something?
No.
Okay, well, I have, there's a BD1 Lego set for you under the desk there.
Oh, well, here's a Moleskine journal.
Oh my god, I love Moleskine so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You wrote in it already. That's cool.
You're welcome. Yeah. No, I literally was like, right. I literally woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, shit.
I must have had this when I was in college.
Oh, gosh.
Because these are notes about Bradford Young, the first black cinematographer to be nominated for an Oscar.
Well, there you go. Scuffed Andy, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerds Radiant.
Oh, no, this was a project that never happened. Oh. I remember what that is.
All right.
Yeah, okay, happy anniversary. 4 years, babe.
Hell yeah.
4 years.
Good thing we're going to brunch, coincidentally.
Yeah, it's our celebratory brunch. That was
Yeah.
that was actually my plan the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this brunch was a celebration of our 4 years together.
Yeah. It does mean we can't go overtime, though, because that place closes at 3.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so glad you remembered. Can you imagine if neither of us did?
Yeah, that would have been we would have been like, oh no. That checks out for us, though, honestly.
Thank you, Scuff Andy. And then James Ross, a member for 25 straight months. That's wild.
Thank you.
Year 5 is Iron. I recommend taking a forging class together. You can even tape it.
That'd be kind of fun.
I would do a Forged in Fire, but because we started the YouTube channel on...
We'll make some rings.
Nerdy Nightly Bakes.
Yeah.
Which was us being trying to just basically copy Nailed It for content.
But nerdy, yeah.
Yeah. And, we were probably more middling at it than they are bad. Our food mostly tasted good.
Mostly, yeah. We did all right. That apple pie we made was actually a fucking banger.
Arzu, thank you for super chat there.
Thank you so much.
Here's to 40 more years together for you guys. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much.
We're gonna get 44, yeah. 44 and then we're done.
44. I mean, if no, I'll be dead.
No, you'll make it to 73.
Oh, yeah. I will die of prostate cancer on our 44th anniversary.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, thank you so much for 10 gifted memberships. You two now can go watch the hour-long interlude reaction.
Yeah, let's go, Guillermo.
Where we faked our thumbnail.
This is the most valuable time to get a gifted sub, you guys, because next week every single chapter is commissioned. Even though we don't actually have that much free time next week. So the question is on everybody's lips is going to be, will Nerdy survive? And the answer is probably not.
No, but you did this to yourself, so.
But we got a house. Oh, guys, good news. We got a house.
To rent.
To rent.
To be clear.
But we got like it's a house.
Yeah. Yeah, we freaking got it. We met with the landlords because they were like, "What the fuck is up with you guys?" We were like, "I know it looks weird on paper, but I promise you, we're perfectly normal human beings." Yes. Official ACM, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant.
You're here for a year.
Hell
official
yeah.
ACM. Welcome to your first year with this nonsense.
Thank you for all the anniversary wishes.
Wow, lots of housekeeping today.
I know.
It's our anniversary. We got our house.
Yeah, we're moving.
We're moving.
Yeah.
And so the set is about to change.
Yeah, things are going to look a little different.
Let us know what you think about what our set should look like.
Yeah.
In the comments, go comment on the video, not in the chat, because I'm never going to go back and read chat.
No, if you're a Pinterest girly, drop some inspo into
I love a
the
Pinterest
Discord
girly.
For me. I've already started. Okay?
Should we open a channel on the Discord to talk about decorating our new house?
Sure. You know what? Yeah.
Can one of our mods create a Discord channel for discussing what our house should look like?
New house.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What was I going to say?
The new barracks for the Nerd Radiant. We do have a big garage. We could keep 4 or 5 Radiants back there.
We could, yeah. The mods could, move out of the basement.
No. The mods are going in that creepy fucking room in the basement.
Oh, yeah, okay. Or they can go on the play place outside. There's like a
Yeah, that's where you want to live for a Canadian winter.
There's a children's play place.
Dine in! Thank you for being a member for 7 months.
Thank you so much.
Happy anniversary. Congrats on the house and the perfectly normal human beings. Rise up. Rise up.
Rise up.
Linus, and you're living on your knees.
Thank you for that super chat. Every channel commissioned. Yeah, Linus. I wonder who...
Every chapter commissioned.
Did I say that?
You said channel.
Oh, every chapter. Yeah, I wonder who was responsible for that one.
Carrots, thank you so much, Linus. Really appreciate that. And then Guillermo Barros coming in like a fucking mad lad.
Pew, pew,
dropping
pew, pew.
20
Just,
more members on the community. Guillermo.
That's so many memberships.
Guillermo was like, I got fucking paid today. Making it rain.
Guillermo is Oprah today. Just like, you get an endorsement, you get an endorsement. No. Thank you so much.
You didn't even watch any of what happened last night.
No, I have no idea. I just thought it was a funny joke. With zero context.
No, it's good.
Thank you.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
So I have a question.
I don't have any answers.
Is this our 3rd wedding anniversary or our 4th wedding anniversary? Does the day that we got married count as our first? Because it's not an anniversary, right?
Wow, you cannot do math.
What do you mean?
Really think about that one for 1 second.
No, I know, but then people keep wishing me a 4th anniversary.
Yeah. How many years have passed since we got married?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the actual wedding is technically the first anniversary?
No. Because then we'd be on 5, babe. We got married in 2020, which has a 0 on it.
And it's 2024.
And then our first anniversary was in 2021. And then our second anniversary was in 2022. And our third anniversary was in 2023. Mm-hmm. And our fourth anniversary... Babe, we got married on a 0. It should be really easy to do the math.
No, the 0 makes it harder. All right. I got it now. I'm caught up.
I can't.
Guys, I need more caffeine.
That's right. This podcast is brought to you by Gamer Subs.
I'm drinking a new flavor. This one called Arctic Rush. Tastes like a white freezy. You're welcome.
And I'm drinking Anime Girl Thigh, the best flavor. It's my true obsession. It really, I love this drink so much. I have it every day because we have the non-caffeinated version.
Yo, Garen went so hard, the alerts are still going. You love to see it. You love to fucking see it.
I'm just so concerned that you don't know that 2020 plus 4 is 2024.
Okay, to be fair.
I'm like, we're in the middle of an ad read, but I'm just like worried.
To be fair, I literally...
You handle our finances.
Woke myself up at 4 a.m, remembering it was the anniversary, and then getting confused as to why the numbers numbered the way they did. It was 4 a.m, okay?
Oh,
okay. I'm still boycotting until you add grape back. Okay, Blue, I have some good news for you.
I think they have it. They just call it something different now.
Well, so we they sent us a bunch of new flavors, and we got to try them all. There's a flavor called Lean.
Yeah.
That is basically grape. I never actually had just the straight grape flavor, but if you want grape, I do recommend trying.
I would recommend trying Lean. Lean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Gamer Subs. Right, this is an ad. Yeah. Gamer Subs is great. We love it. If you want
Claroos.
Yeah, CLAROOS. You get 10% off your order, and you get delicious beverages. You get cool cups. I think they're still doing a free cup for every tub you buy. Can we?
Well, actually, wait. I got a message from them yesterday.
Ooh, a message from them?
Yeah, they like tell me when there's like shit happening sometimes. Okay, wait.
Yeah, so you get a free manga shaker with any tub purchase.
There you go. They also, they have a new line of gamer subs called Pixel Cups.
Oh.
Okay, so they're like 360 pixelated scenes when you rotate the shaker. So they're gonna be like kind of like fully covered as opposed to just like the waifu on them.
Sick.
There's also an LED display coaster that you can get, so you could like display all your waifu cups on a shelf, which is probably what we're gonna do. Shaker purchase will come with free digital assets, so enjoy that. And then what else? RGB mousepad. Yeah, there's some like actual like look at this like shaker.
Oh shit, that's
Isn't
cool.
that sick? I know.
When's that coming out?
You know what?
Ooh, they're about to sell a beach volleyball. Anyway, Claroos, CLAROOS at gamersubs.gg. Get your 10% off.
On the 27th.
On the 27th.
Next weekend.
Let's talk about book club.
Okay.
Guys, oh my god. Elaine Sedai. Elaine, get the fuck out of here.
Thank you so much for that super duper chat.
I do not need money from the royal coffers of Andor, okay? Andor knows what it did.
No, I'll take it, please.
Andor knows
to live here.
what it did. No, I'm kidding.
Honestly, no. Andor did okay. They did okay. Most of the other places, I'm like, ugh, but at least Andor is like a semi nice place.
It depends on when.
Sure, but like in comparison to anywhere else, if I had to pick a place to live,
can we talk? Again, depends on when. Can we talk full spoilers for the Wheel of Time real fast?
All right, plug your ears if you.
No, I'm kidding. Let's get into the book. Claroos, we are now 4 parts through 5 parts of the Words of Radiance.
Sure are.
Oh my god, is Atheris. Thank you for that super chat.
Stop it. We're trying to talk about the book.
Happy anniversary, I'm all caught up. Looking forward to watching chapter reactions at 2 times speed. Woo.
Ugh. You're so lucky. I miss listening to the chapters at 2 times speed.
Yeah, I know.
Although the painting honestly helps so freaking much. Like it's been honestly, the reactions have been a lot of fun. But thank you for that super chat.
Danielle Clauser says, I'm pretty sure that refusing help that you should definitely take is 100% an Elaine move, though. That's fair.
True.
That's
you
fair.
know what? 100% true. I can do everything myself.
We are now most of the way through this book. Clarice, how did you feel about the reading this week?
You know, it was a blast. I liked the reading. I liked the reactions. I liked this book a lot. It felt like so much happened in this section.
Yeah.
Which is why I understand how it was split up the way it was split up. I see you. But it's, it's really sad that Syl is dead and never ever coming back. Ever. Same with Yasna, never coming back. Tragic.
Honestly, I'm good either way on that one.
I know.
If Syl's actually dead, I think it's really interesting for Kaladin to be the main character who isn't a Radiant, or who was supposed to be Radiant but isn't, as the Radiants rise.
But if she does come back, I want to see how she changes because of that as well. So I want both. It's
a very anime thing to have the main character be the one who doesn't have powers.
Yeah.
And or maybe doesn't have powers, but then has to find an item that gives them powers later on, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously we would get from, Kaladin getting one of the honor blades, and getting his powers that way.
Oh, right.
Because that's what's going on with Zeth.
It's like a weird self-fulfilling prophecy, because then he will have an honor blade, and Zeth will be like, "I was right," kind of.
Exactly. Right. So the idea that Kaladin ends up with an honor blade and uses it to avenge Syl is interesting.
Well,
that feels that Kaiju number 8. This isn't a spoiler because it's the first episode of Kaiju number 8. That plays with that kind of idea in anime.
Yeah.
And
there's I think that they have an honor blade in camp because Elhokar took to Telenetanel.
So I do think that Syl could be dead. I also think that obviously the conversation with Pattern opens up the idea that because her knight that she's bonded to is still around, there might be a way to save her.
Yeah.
That conversation was framed in a way where it was this is a conversation between Pattern and Shallan, but it's actually Brandon Sanderson trying to tell the audience that foreshadowing that there's a possibility.
There's a chance. Should we just like pick opposite predictions and see who's right?
Sure. Which one do you want to take?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
Which one do you feel stronger about?
Okay,
Which one would you enjoy more?
I went with Yasna's dead, so I'm gonna go with Scylla's alive.
Okay, so I'm gonna go because I know that Yasna's alive. Syl is dead.
Okay, fine.
I'm fine with that. I'm gonna be wrong. Syl's gonna be alive. But for prediction's sake, I will take
for funsies.
$5.
Yeah.
Great. Love
sure.
it. No, I also really enjoyed the reading this week. I think that you know, one of the things about book club that's really interesting to me is that books aren't really meant to be dissected in sections the way that we do. You know what I mean? Like the way in which we read books, the way in which an author would like for their book to be absorbed is in its entirety, right? And so by the very nature of the structure of book club, we do this wrong. We read books wrong in a way in order to have these kind of conversations about them. And I think there's value in those conversations. And I think that it is really interesting to watch two people go through the process from beginning to end and really talk about the process of enjoying a book. Mm-hmm. But there are people who are like, well, you don't like Words of Radiance because you've had these problems with it so far. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I like Words of Radiance or not. I haven't read the whole book and I don't know how it all relates to itself. I'm just talking about how I'm feeling in the moment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the side effects of that is that I will say things that I want from the book, and then the audience is like, oh, so you just don't like it because you're not getting those? And I'm like, no, I just haven't got to them yet. And then in a section like this, I get what I want. Yeah. And so I'm really happy with the book, right?
Like, a lot of people seem to think that you just want the entire plot in 100 words or less.
Right, yeah.
Which I think is just unfair because we're, like, because there are things coming up that we understand, and I think that, like, commenting on those things doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad because we haven't got there yet.
Well, and a lot of the times I say things like what I want from the end of this book is. Yeah. And in this situation, I feel really absolved, and I feel like I feel right in a way that makes me feel great, and I feel like chat has been very wrong, because Shallan is entitled, chat. And you want to know how I know Shallan is entitled? Because she gets confronted with it by Kaladin, and she does the best thing possible, right? She does. In the Chasm, Kaladin points out the way in which she's entitled, and her immediate response is, oh, fuck, you know what? You're right. Yeah. You're right, and I'm sorry. And I love that big moment so much, and it's what I wanted from the book. I wanted these characters to start to confront each other on their shit. Because so much of this book is the internal monologue of these characters on the plains trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. There's very little genuine communication that happens in these books. These characters are always talking past each other or hiding things. And there's not a lot of moments where we really get a nitty-gritty conversation about the truth of what is going on with these people's inner lives, where they open up at all. And I felt like we finally got Kaladin opening up about why he is actually upset with light-eyed people, with a light-eyed person who takes it and goes, yeah, you're right, I am sorry. And it was a genuine apology on her part. Yeah. She meant that shit. Yeah. And it meant so much to me as someone who needed something like that from this book to get it. Because I'm like, okay, we are actually going to engage with what it means to come from the upper caste of society. I think she makes a lot of kind of fumbles in that conversation with Kaladin as well, and I think that she's harsher with him than I think is appropriate given the social difference between them. But at the same time, Shallan's ability to accept that criticism, acknowledge that fault within herself, and apologize for it is beautifully written. Yeah. It's so well done. And it was the, like, turning point for that character that I needed.
Yeah, and I love that, like, that instance in particular, like, there are a ton of defenses you can throw up for Shallan if you wanted to, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Right, she was trying to impress Tin. She was, like, in a situation, like you could do that, but, like, not doing that makes the moment so much stronger.
Well, and her not making excuses makes the moment stronger. Yeah. She internalizes for a second, like, oh, like, fucking Tin, but she accepts it. It is such a mature moment from her. Yeah. 100%. And it really was, it was wonderful, honestly. Yeah. Like it completely changed the way I feel about her.
Yeah. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. On behalf of chat, I was wrong and you were right.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for that super chat. I'm glad that you were able to acknowledge that and apologize. Chat is maturing much like Shalon is. No, and I'm mostly joking about the chat part of it. Like, I understand people's opinion on it, and I'm not trying to say that you guys are 100% objectively wrong.
Well, to be fair, you were giving questionable examples.
But I don't think I was. I think the tapestry... There's a sports commentator that I follow, Nick Wright, who always calls his opinions a rich tapestry. And I think the rich tapestry of Shalon is rich because there's a lot of wonderful things about her. But it's also rich because there are some things that aren't great, right? And
yeah, otherwise she wouldn't feel like a human being.
No, but it is the maturity she showed in that scene with Kaladin to be able to accept his criticism.
Absolutely.
That makes me like feel like she is a better character.
Yeah.
Right? That she has the potential, that it makes me optimistic about her success.
Yeah.
Because she is able to acknowledge her own faults and grow from them.
Yeah.
And I think that is, it was excellent.
Well
I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I know that I just like ruined what my high of the week is, but...
that's okay. We that's 3 hours from now. People are not going to remember. Guillermo, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. I particularly love that both of them accept they are wrong, Cal admiring her strength and actually empathizing with a light-eyed woman. Yeah, you know, I think that because of Cal's lived experiences, he sees all light eyes as just having like lovely lives. You know, they have it so easy. And like not broadening or taking this moment to broaden his horizons of like what life looks like for people regardless of like class or wealth. And I think that it brings people closer together because they're just people. Yeah. And that's what matters. So I agree. I love this whole scene on both sides of the conversation because so much growth was had. So much eye-opening. Ernest, thank you for that super chat. Shalon Kaladin in the Chasm was one of the things I was waiting for, Nerdy. I get that.
I get it. Like, the way he's waiting for Nerdy. Yeah.
Sorry.
It reminded me, honestly,
I'm not
of
dyslexic.
What I fell in love with within the Vin and Ellen relationship in Mistborn, right? Which was Ellen's ability to acknowledge the way in which his privilege affected his life, right? And Ellen being able to acknowledge that, like, he was privileged, even though awful things happened to Ellen, right? Mistborn spoilers, but we're talking Cosmere. You gotta read with us on Cosmere, guys, because we're gonna talk about the Cosmere here.
Yeah.
The fact that his father made him rape that girl,
right,
is a very traumatic incident.
Yeah. And
that is true. Like, it is traumatizing. It doesn't mean that he doesn't also live with immense privilege and class wealth, right?
Yeah. Both things exist, which is why you said the tapestry is rich.
Yeah.
The characters are complicated, right?
And I think that some of what Shalon's failings are in this conversation are around her being like, well, yeah, but we both had traumatic things happen to us, so we're even. And, like, that's not true. They can't be even because Shalon... They rode to the Shattered Plains in the same wagon.
Yeah. Yeah,
but there's
God.
But there's a reason why they had different experiences in that wagon. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even, like, think about that.
Like, they literally arrived here in this...
T-shirt.
What would be a good... We're just going to have Kaladin as a slave on one side and Shalon as a princess on the other?
No.
Who's wearing that t-shirt? Why would you wear that out in public?
No,
this is about how Kaladin was a slave and Shalon wasn't. I just really wanted to represent this moment on my body.
No, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Well, no, I'm
not an artist.
I'm joking. What's the t-shirt?
Just like these two characters who are so different, like it's like the same wagon that's like divided through the middle, right? And having Pattern and Syl be the like line in between.
That's interesting.
The wagons. It doesn't matter. I'm not an artist.
And just on one side it's just Cal like whimpering against the bars.
And then on the other side it's Shalon crying over Yasna's things because she's dead.
It's the most depressing t-shirt you've ever owned.
Yeah, pretty much. Scuffed Andy would buy it. Thank you for that super chat.
You'd have to work really hard, especially because...
Thank you.
Here's the biggest problem with that t-shirt. Kaladin is a person of color. And so if you draw him accurately... I know, but if you draw Kaladin accurately, the average person who doesn't know what the Stormlight Archive is would think that you are wearing a t-shirt that is just a manacled black man behind bars.
I thought he was Asian.
No, but like in the art, he's just gonna have like a darker skin color, right? I don't think most people are going to investigate his eye, the shape of his eyes, to realize that you're not just wearing a slave person.
All right, yeah. No, that's okay. Lord Dice, thank you for that super chat. Happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy
Book club on your birthday.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lord Dice.
Happy birthday to you. Boom,
Nailed
there you
it.
go. Harmonies. Scafandi says, I would buy it. Guys, I'm not selling slavery t-shirts. I'm just not.
Oh my god.
It'd be good fan art. It would be great fan art. I'm not putting that in my store. If I was a creator of color, maybe. Right? I am not having a store owned by two white people selling a shirt that has a person of color in manacles. I'm not doing it. Okay. Anyway, we both really liked the reading this week. We're almost half hour in. We should probably start at the chapters.
Fine.
We've already basically talked about one, but
Yeah.
one person's cage is another's carriage is actually a really good way of putting it.
Oh, okay. Code 76 is onto something over here. So nobody clipped that.
Flash Monkey says the front can say slavery and the back can say it's wrong. That's so funny.
Oh my god. Wow.
It just says slavery and then in really tiny text underneath it says is bad.
Slavery is bad. Wow. Oh man.
Oh my god, I want to sell a Last Clap fan art so bad. But honestly, it's just booty cheeks. But it's like the, you know what, how people do like the 9 grid? Mm-hmm. It's the 9, but it's like a Dalinar, Adolin, Shallan, Navani, Yasna,
a sword between their
Kaladin, like Rock, Moash, and Teft. And they're all just twerking.
Oh my god. Honestly though, that would be great, and I wish I could draw.
And they all have like a different style of shardblade between their ass cheeks.
Yeah. No, Kaladin has a spear, for sure.
No, because he last clapped to Shardblade.
No, I know.
We gotta give credit where credit's due. He like bare hand last clapped to Shardblade.
Yeah.
Spit and bile.
And they all have the Thug Life glasses on.
So they're all like bent over, like looking over their shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. They're all in like basically the same position
funny.
but mirrored.
See, that's a shirt I would sell.
Right.
Yeah. Chapter 67, Spit and Bile. Mm-hmm. My path has been chosen very deliberately. Yes, I agree with everything you have said about Race, including the severe danger he presents. Who's Race?
Race is not the person who got the super
anything
bug,
that super
right?
chat. I would buy it. I mean, I would buy that shirt. I'd be sick.
Scavandy over here just super chatting for all these merch ideas, and I love it. If I can find someone to make that and draw that, then I will sell that.
Yeah.
Raze is not the person who fell off the turtle, right? The crab.
Who fell off the crab?
And then got a little bug at the end because she, like, lost her legs.
No, that was Risen.
Risen. Yeah, okay. No.
Fell off the crab is such a weird way to, like, say that she, like, fell off an island that was a giant sea creature.
Yeah, a crab. She fell off the crab.
I don't know who Race is, but he presents a severe danger. Apparently. I don't know. I don't really give a shit about the Hoyd letter.
I think it's the person that Hoyd is chasing.
Maybe. Or one of the people chasing Hoyd.
Maybe. But they've killed people.
Yeah.
That are not shard bearers, but shard bearers.
In my opinion, Taravangian is more of a problem right now, but it is what it is.
But we learn that, like, Hoyd doesn't actually really give a shit about this world.
But he cares a lot. Yeah.
He cares about the grand scale of things, but he's like, if I have to sacrifice this world for the greater good, then I will.
Yeah.
So that's good. Getting some weird Voldemort vibes.
So Dalinar and Navani are chilling, watching as the armies are getting ready, because they're going to go out on the shattered plains and stumble around in the darkness until they find the Parshendi. It's about as dumb a plan as you could possibly have. But don't worry, it will get saved. What? It's a bad idea. We have no idea where we're going, so we're just gonna go. It's not. Look. It might be the right thing to do. is still not a good plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of other options.
Yeah. They're
I'm
like,
not
we
arguing...
either do something or we do nothing, and we're going to go with something.
I'm not arguing that it is a bad idea, but I am arguing that it is a bad plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah, there's definitely not much of a plan at all.
Dallin has the concept of a plan.
Nice.
Levitt,
well
thank you for that super chat. Rarely get to watch these live because of scheduling time zones, but I've been loving that y'all are going through the Cosmere, and happy anniversary. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
4
Appreciate
years.
It. Hell yeah. We're going to go for brunch after this, and I'm so excited to have a waffle.
I watched none of the Kamala Harris Oprah thing last night.
No, me neither.
But the only thing I've seen, and it is such a good joke, that whoever wrote it for Kamala deserves a raise, was her being like, Oprah's like $5,000. Nobody's going to start a business with that. You can start a teeny tiny business. And Kamala goes, you could start the concept of a business. And I was like, that is such a good dig.
The concept of a business.
Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge that's a good dig.
It is a joke.
That's a good one.
Here's the thing. I want to say I'm very proud of us because we definitely started a business with less than $5,000. Well, no, I guess from the ship, I guess like.
Yeah, we spent. Here's the thing.
We
already had all the pieces. I had the microphones and cameras, and you had the computer.
Yeah.
So like, if we needed to buy that stuff, it would have cost more than $5,000.
Probably.
It cost more than $5,000 to become a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it depends. I guess you could stream off a laptop and like use a webcam, but that's hard.
You could get a like $1,500 computer, but you're still gonna need microphone, keyboard, mouse, games.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could just chat. I don't know. You need a house. Here's the thing. You need a room to stream from, an internet, and that is definitely more than $5,000.
And Will says, I launched a business for less than $5,000. It's almost all sweat equity. That's valid.
Sweat. I don't know what that means.
It means you're just putting time and effort and sweat into it until it makes money.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Garen Barrows, thank you for that super chat. As someone who deals with deadlines, practicing law, I absolutely understand the fuck it, we just gotta go attitude. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, valid.
It just doesn't mean that but it's not a good plan.
No, it is just a concept of a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. They've gotta be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where, but they've gotta be. They gotta be somewhere.
It's better than...
Oh, Blue just purchased the Kamina baseball shirt. Let's go.
Thank you, Blue.
Didn't know that made noise.
I did not know either. That startled me. Guys, I guess we have merch alerts that make noise.
Thank you, Blue. Enjoy that shirt. It's very nice, and I like it a lot.
I think that's our best-selling Kamina shirt, is the baseball one. I'm, like, super happy with how that turned out. What?
I can't say.
Okay, cool. Anyways, no, you guys didn't hear it. It came through our speakers, so I don't think the microphone picked it up.
I don't have desktop audio turned on.
No, yeah.
Cool. Sorry. What? So yeah, fuck it, we ball is the plan.
About starting a business. No, yeah. The plan is we're just gonna do something because doing nothing is not an option.
And I agree with him. I want to be clear. I'm not shitting on Dalinar here. I agree with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because obviously this shit is a disaster and has been a disaster for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I love when he acknowledges that he's like, I can't remember who says it to him, but is like, what? So you're just hoping that you're gonna find them? And he's like, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
Everyone is sad because things went bad for Dalinar's team on the plains again. And
what?
Yeah, Navani is really Navani is talking about this idea that Shardblades didn't used to be bonded, or no, sorry, Shardblades didn't used to have gemstones in them, but that the gemstones were added after the Radiance died in order to bond the Shardblades, and that the Radiance didn't actually need gemstones to bond Shardblades.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's another oath. Like, in that these, like, Shardblades are, like, abominations, like Syl says, because, like, people haven't spoken the oaths to use them, and so they're, like, basically, like, this, like, forced connection.
Yeah.
Is my guess. But I honestly, I feel like I don't have enough information. Ernest, Tail, thank you for that super duper chat! Dalinar's ability to take this moment meant
to demean him.
Oh, meant to demean him and turn it around was inspired. Then the brutal honesty of Wit telling him that he is a tyrant, but this world isn't ready for anything else. Yeah, great moment.
No,
great.
Well, that's obviously at the end of the chapter, so we're not quite there yet, but
no, fucking
I do want to talk about that a lot, because
banger.
Like I said about the Shallan thing, this acknowledgement of Dalinar and Dalinar actually being politically intelligent for the first time was also wonderful.
He pulled a Tyrion Lannister. Take the insult, use it as armor.
Yeah.
That moment, you know.
No, I agree with you, Urtisel. It really is. It's the end of the chapter is so excellent, and like the Shallan in the Chasm bit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're not. Shallan hasn't fallen yet. We talk so much about Shallan and
we'll get there.
Where are we in the book right now?
I know. Okay, so we are at the dinner time. They haven't gone on the expedition yet to see what the Chasm Fiend looks like.
Right.
But it is gonna happen momentarily.
We're before the bridge run where they fall.
Yes.
Oh my god, my brain, you guys, I'm fried. Yes. So they end up going to a dinner. Mm-hmm. We're at the dinner. We're not even at the fucking shit. Yasna's really upset. Yasna's dead.
Yasna's dead.
Navani's sad about Yasna's death. Navani realizes that the gemstone thing... Sorry, what were you saying about the gemstones and the shard blades?
I was just saying that I'm assuming that, the gemstones, bypass having to say the oaths to get a shard blade. But I that's just, a straight-up guess. I don't know.
See, I think that it is that you need the Stormlight connection to bond a shard blade. And so Radiance didn't need a gemstone to hold the Stormlight because they hold the Stormlight. But without the ability to hold the Stormlight yourself to forge that connection, you have to use a gemstone.
But does the gemstone of the Shardblade have to be infused? Because what if it went out during a fight? I don't think that they're infused gemstones. No. They just are gems, right? You
only need the gemstone to be infused during the bonding process. Once you're bonded, you're bonded. But the bonding process takes Stormlight. And so Radiants don't need Stormlight in a gem because they are the Stormlight
I think it's
carrier.
A speed run of the oaths. You don't have to know them. You just
I don't think it has anything to do with the oaths.
Okay.
The Shardblade is separate from the oaths. The Shardblade bond is the Shardblade bond. And that just comes from... Because they haven't made any oaths, so they wouldn't be able to get to level 6 before level 1. But they can bond a Shardblade because the Stormlight creates the connection between them, and once the connection is made, you don't need the Stormlight after that because the connection's been made. But you need Stormlight to make the connection. I think a Radiant can probably pick up a Shardblade that's unbonded and just bond it almost immediately. I think they can pump their Stormlight into it, and they can probably... I think a person with gemstones needs 5 days. Right?
Okay.
And that's why when they break the gemstone to break the bond. Right?
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I just, because of the ways that Syl reacts to those swords, that it feels like it... I don't know. I honestly, I'm not sure what implications this has.
Well, and Syl reacting to the swords, but Pattern not reacting to the swords is so interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Because it means it has something to do with honor in particular. Of course. Guys, we're moving. No more lawn mowing during book club because I will mow my own lawn from now on.
Yeah, thank fucking God.
I've never been so happy to mow my own lawn.
I know, right? Just fucking...
Right. So they go to a dinner. The dinner is filled with people who are
handing out pamphlets,
mocking Dalinar behind his back. Yes. And he finds out that they are passing around
his visions.
Yes. Particularly Navani's writing of his visions.
Yeah.
Navani's pissed.
Yeah, she's
because
mad
they changed things.
Yeah, they changed things.
If you're going to steal my words, keep them intact. I work very hard.
Do it properly.
Yeah. Which I loved. I think that was... I love her being like, oh, I don't care that they stole them. I care that they changed things.
Yeah, well, because they made it more mocking, which is obviously, it was supposed to be an attack. And Dalinar fucking flips it on his head, and he's like, yep, hey, I see visions from the Almighty. Pretty crazy. I know. I'm going to start publishing them so that y'all can keep reading them because you seem very enthralled.
Well, but that's not what he says, right? He doesn't make it about them.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to start publishing my visions so that scholars around the world can interpret them, right?
True, yeah.
He makes it more official and... he takes the bite out of it.
I made it petty. He doesn't make it petty.
He does, but he makes it the smarter version of petty, which is he takes the power out of the hands of the people who are trying to demean him.
Yeah.
By making it about scholarship. By being like, this is something that is important for the intellects of the world. He is taking away the ability, let's go, a Sedai shirt. Kenny TLG, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenny, for buying some merch.
By taking it and putting it into like the realm of scholarship, he's taking the bite out of it among the general population. Yeah. It's like the first really brilliant political move we've seen him make.
Yeah, no, he crushes it. Yeah. I also want to say, Blue Senate, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant for 11 months. We appreciate you. Yeah, no, he handles this beautifully. Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised with Dalinar because this isn't usually how his mind. Yeah, he's not always very politically savvy, but this was brilliant. Well done.
No, it was, and I think that it is a really good way of showing the version of Dalinar that he's growing into because he's being forced by the situation, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Dalinar in Way of Kings would have been able to have this moment. But we're seeing him grow as a politician. We're seeing him like putting away the Shardblade and picking up, the way that he's living his life now. We're seeing that growth in real time in a way that I think is really excellent.
Yeah.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. You. My favorite is Navani dancing around the undertext when she's explaining it to Dalinar. She's like, I might have...
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. That's just girl stuff. That's just lady stuff.
Yeah. Don't worry. Definitely not going to be a problem for their entire society that men can't read. Chapter 68. Oh, no, wait. There's a Wit conversation first. Wit is like, hey, well done. Nice. You crushed it.
Yeah, but they also calls him a tyrant.
Sure, but like Dalinar asks.
Can we have a kind of gross conversation really quick?
A gross conversation.
They don't... What is their fabric made out of?
I don't know. Why?
Well, they don't have, like, sheep.
Okay.
They don't have wool.
Okay.
They don't have cotton.
Why do they not have cotton? They might.
Well, no, they don't have cotton. Like, they don't have fields to grow cotton. Cotton is you can't grow cotton. What do they grow shit out of?
They have silk. Okay. Yeah, they've got silk.
From what?
Well, you can also fucking soul cast anything.
But it has to... They can't soul cast shit that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so they just soul cast a bunch of silk from silkworms. Maybe.
What do they make, like,
Flax.
pads out of?
Like
period pads? Yeah. Because, you know what I mean? You don't have, like, super absorbent things.
They must
This
have
is such a random conversation.
Kind of absorbent material.
I just realized that, like, what are they making shit out of?
I don't know much about, like, what kind of textures they have. We really only see silk as a...
Silk crabs, duh.
Silk crabs. Maybe... I don't know. They have plants. Like, they have grass, so maybe they have, like, hemp.
It's not a notoriously absorbent material, but yeah.
No, I just mean for, like, making shit.
Yeah, you know what? We need to move on. I just was like...
There's also places where the high storms, like, barely reach, right?
Well, it says human hair can replace wool. I love the idea that these people are running around in uniforms made out of human hair. That would be so weird.
No, don't like that. Nope.
Okay.
Give me a nope from me.
Matt Ty says they can import wool from Shinovar. I guess maybe there are sheep on Shinovar, but, like, can you imagine having to import everything? It just, like, the global trade of this world would have to be so vast. And given the technology they have, that would be very surprising. Axehound skin is leather-like? I thought it was all crabs. Anyway, we need to move on. We're never going to solve this.
No, the Axehounds are the dogs.
No, they're crabs.
No. They're like dogs.
No, they're like crabs.
They're like dogs. They're called puppies.
Axehound. Okay.
Oh, wow. Playing with fire.
Oh, whatever. I mean, that is barely a fucking dog.
It looks kind of dog-like. Wow, that's kind of horrifying.
Yeah. I kind of love it, though. It looks like a Tyranid from Warhammer 40k.
Huh, okay. It's a crab dog.
If this is an Axehound pup, then it's a crab, babe. Like,
I mean, that
looks like a fucking lobster. Anyway, back to the book.
Damn.
So yeah, Dalinar crushes this moment and then has a conversation with Wit that's really well written. Wit calls him Tyrant.
Dalinar asks, right?
Tyrant's a little bit of a questionable point at this point for me. I think he's more of a wannabe tyrant. He's on his way to be. I think that in order to be a tyrant, you have to like actually be in charge. And I think that like once he crushes Sadeas and fully takes over, he will be a tyrant. Right now, he's sort of like tyrant adjacent.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
You know, there's Zerglings. Ramaku, you are my people.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Brandon's actually said there's a version of silk called sea silk. Most other textiles are plant-based from the native plants. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Cool. I mean, I like thought, silkworms might be something that they have, but
they're just silk kremlings.
Silk kremlings, yeah. Yeah, he's Tyrant Light. Yes.
Tyrant Light.
Exactly. Yeah, and honestly, Wit is like, you might honestly be what the world needs. So,
sadly,
in another life, I might have hated you, but here and now, I think someone's got to do something.
Yeah. I think that tyrants in fantasy worlds are often a sensical choice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Depending on their intentions.
People might complain about that given my political views that I shove into the podcast, and I'm sorry about that. But I am anti-tyrant in real life.
Yeah.
But in a world where it's like, hey, we all have... Here's the thing, right? This is going to be controversial. There is a version of our future where global warming gets to the point where if we do not act perfectly,
swiftly,
we all die.
Yeah.
And at that point, if someone has to be a tyrant to like stop global warming, history will remember the awful things that they did, but also might be like, yeah, but they like also saved humanity.
Interesting.
And you know what?
Okay.
That gets complicated. Like real life is complicated. And it's not fun. It's not always fun. You know what I mean? Like that would suck, but
here's the thing. We as a society were like, yeah, freedom, I guess. And then we did whatever we wanted, and then we ruined the planet by doing whatever we wanted. So you know what? I think most people can't be trusted. Kate Catastrophe, thank you for that super chat. Wit once asked why they called an axe hound and they have no etymology for the word hound. On Roshar, some food for thought. Well, he also...
I'm assuming the etymology is going to be a setup that language is the same across the Cosmere, so that... I think that is Brandon Sanderson beginning to set up that characters are going to be able to bounce between these worlds without having a language barrier.
Yeah.
I think that is the beginning of him being like... It's like common in D&D.
I think, my theory, honestly, is that the people who have the shards, like the magic shards, not the shard blades... God, that's so confusing. That the shards, like, those people have their own language, and that because the magic came from those, their gods had that language, and the people learned that language. Like, it just all came from the Cosmere being formed by shards.
Yeah, I think that it is the Victor Decina says, I don't think we're there yet. That conversation has already happened, Victor. I remember it.
Yes.
The idea of language across the Cosmere being somewhat consistent does kind of make sense because the gods are connected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, Hoyt is like a bunny rabbit, and they're like, what? So obviously, like, they have to have similar or shared languages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, honestly, if you're going to do worlds like this, and you're going to bring them together, which is, I think, where this is going at some point, you have to figure out a way to make languages somewhat work.
Yeah.
It's, D&D being like, common comes from sigil. That's a new thing in the new player's handbook where they've established the world common started in.
Yeah.
In the multiverse. Things like that it's just a setup for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Titania says your theory doesn't make sense to me because Roshar alone, different countries have different languages.
Yeah,
sure, but they're all gonna have a root language that's going to be the same.
Well, but like at least the people that we have seen all at least share one similar or same language.
Yeah.
Like, even though they have other languages, which they do on top of You learn more than one.
In my mind, it's going to be that they're like the shards have like Latin, and like Roshar speaks English and Cell speaks Italian, and you know what I mean. And so there's gonna be some sort of like. I'm not saying that when they get together they're all gonna speak the exact same like slang and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that like the Cosmere will have some sort of root language. Otherwise, like we're gonna have to write books about the years in which these cultures have no root together.
Yeah.
And
how does
it's gonna be tough to bring them together.
Hoyd just knows every language on every planet, like.
Well, yeah, but he's fucking Tom Bombadil. He's the Doctor. He is that character, right?
He does have a universal translator.
Yeah, what's weird to me is that he speaks every language, but he's confused by the languages he's able to speak. So I'm assuming it's more a universal translator than it is him actually knowing those languages. Because then if he knew the language, why is he confused about them having the word hound? If it's a translation. This is where it gets complicated, right? If it's a translation from the Roshar language to English for our sake, why is Hoyd confused about them having the word hound?
Yeah.
If it's already a translation. Right? Yeah. That's where this conversation gets weird. It has to be literally the same root language as the language Hoyd knows in order for it to be strange that he's saying hound.
Right.
Because otherwise, it's just translating to his language as hound, and things change in translation. Right?
Interesting. Okay.
Like, you know, when you are translating something, you have to understand that the translation is never going to be perfect because the meaning behind language is very different, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're talking about Japanese, right? When someone does a really good job in Japan, someone will say "Otsukare-sama deshita," right? And what that means is like good job. But what it actually means, if you translate it, the like meaning of it is you must have worked very hard because you look tired. Now, we don't translate it as, you must have worked very hard because you look tired, right?
It just means good job.
But it just means good job. We don't use language literally, right, in translation.
Yeah.
And so the thing about him saying, why do you have the word hound, if it is translating to his language as hound, that doesn't mean that's what they're saying in their language. And that's where it gets really complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that is a lot. Huh. Well, we're an hour in, and we've done one chapter, so
yeah, it's book club.
Do the next chapter?
Have you never been here before? Are you new?
This is my first time.
68, bridges. Kaladin is stoked to be running a bridge again. Let's go. Here's the thing.
Which is such a strange,
Here's the thing.
Familiarity.
If you went from running a bridge every day, getting into the rhythm of it, and then stopping, your body would miss it. This is the thing about going to the gym, you motherfuckers. Go to the gym. Start working out today. It sucks for months, but then there will be a point a few months down the road where you'll be like, I'm in much better shape. I'm going to start easing up. And your body will be like, fuck you, we enjoy this. That moment hits, right? And I think that he has gotten so used to running a fucking marathon. Mm-hmm. And then he stops running a marathon and he goes like, his body's like, I mean, yeah, we ride horses sometimes now, but like, can we run again?
Yeah, right, yeah.
My body physically misses it. Yeah. I'm not 100%. Surprised at all. Now that we've been going to the gym consistently, I'm like, I need to take a couple days off a week, right? Like, I'm glad we're not going today, but tomorrow I'm going to be excited to get back in there and start lifting again.
Yeah,
I want that physical release.
Yeah.
This makes so much sense to me.
It's why, like, this is kind of a side tangent, but I think it is really, really important to have, like, phys ed in schools.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not only to, like, get people moving, but to, like, to build the enjoyment of like moving your body physically. I feel very lucky that growing up I was very active. I was very, very, very physically active, and my body likes that. Yeah. Like doing those exercises and stuff, like sometimes it is a bit of a drag to get my ass to the gym where I'm like, but like for the most part, I enjoy it a lot and I feel better afterwards. And I think that like developing that when you're young is such a boon when you like grow up as an adult. So I'm a huge advocate for like, you know, putting kids into like physical activities, having gym in schools like that, because I think that it makes like the world of difference.
100%. I also think that like obviously what we're saying is if there are many disabilities that do you know, infringe upon people enjoying that. And I want to acknowledge that. This is for the random
average Joe who,
But yeah, just start working out today, even if it's a small thing. You know, if unless you're already working out, then keep going. You're doing great. But some physical motion, even if it's just getting your 10,000 steps in every day, changes your life.
Yeah.
It really does. That being
said, I understand Cal being like, oh, we're running bridges again, boys. Let's go.
Well, and they all enjoy it, right? Because they're not doing it for
death.
They're not running to death. They're running just to run.
Yeah.
They're basically they're just hanging out. They're just having a good time. Yeah. They're going to go see a Chasm. Shalon wanted to see one. Aelin is a good boyfriend, so he's making it happen. I mean, that's just what it is, right?
A good fiance.
Yeah. I don't consider them really engaged until they want to be engaged.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So they have a causal, which is not quite an engagement. Yeah. So I guess they're like boyfriend, girlfriend right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna go see a Chasm fiend. We find a scout that says they saw a flying man on the plains, and Kaladin's like, you saw what? No?
I swear to God, there was a man who flew, and he's like, oh, it must have been Zeth Son Villano.
Must have been Zeth. Yeah.
You ever heard of a Zeth Son guy? Was he wearing white? No, he was wearing blue.
Like he was wearing white. Nope. No, I think he was wearing white, actually.
It was nighttime.
Yeah, it was nighttime.
How could you tell what color it was? It was nighttime.
Exactly.
There are no colors at night. You know that.
Yeah.
Colors exist from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. No other times. And so we find out that these fucking scouts are the most baller dudes in the camp. They have a tower that they build every high storm, and then when the next time a high storm is coming, they take it down, they crawl into a fucking hole in the ground that was carved by a sharp blade, and just like hope to God they survive. These dudes are fucking animals, okay?
Yeah.
These guys deserve medals. They deserve good food. These are the people you send the real food to. If you live back in the fucking war camp, you can eat that soul-casted bullshit. You send these men berries, okay? They deserve strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. I don't know if they have berries on Roshar. I don't know how berries would survive a hearth-storm.
A horror storm?
A high storm. I had a little bit of spit that got caught on my uvula while I was talking.
Hot.
These guys are so sick, okay? I feel bad for them, but like...
They're the real heroes of the story.
They pole vault across chasms.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Yes, they are Facebook official because everybody knows that they are dating.
They are Facebook official,
That is correct.
Yasna went into their accounts and made that happen.
Oh, they have jam. No, they have strawberries. You're right. They have jam.
But that's from Shin. Yeah, you import that shit for these boys, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They are crawled out in a hole on the fucking Shattered Plains during a high storm.
Here, we will trade you a bucket of useless scraps of metal and like cable cords that we've had in the basement for your fucking berries. And Shinovar is like, oh my god, scrap metal? This is so valuable.
I will say this. Do you think that any of them have ever been pole vaulting across the chasm and their dick was so big that it caused them to fall?
Well, they're not pole vaulting over a beam. So no, I'm going to say no.
I don't know. I think one of them's dick is so big that they got taken off pole vault duty because you can only go over with one pole, not two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 is cheating.
Yeah. That second pole, man, it gets in the way.
Jesus Christ. So we get to...
Can you imagine? You're like pole vaulting this way, and as you're like going across, the pole like smacks your dick, and you just fall and die in the chasm.
You know what? I actually can't imagine that.
Biggest Dickus died in the chasm today.
No idea what that would feel like. Unfortunate. Biggest Dickus?
Biggest Dickus. Brandon Sanderson's greatest character
Chad,
ever.
But okay.
No, Chads have small penises, but they act like they have big ones.
Oh. Yeah. I figured like it's like you could soul cast yourself a bigger penis. I timed that perfectly. Like all the Chads, they like go to the Ardents.
Can you imagine? They draw that big tent over you, and these weird people with rock skin are like just waving their fucking fingies over your dick, trying to make it larger.
There's actually a ton of trans people on Roshar because you can just soul cast.
Can you imagine like top surgery with no scars?
Damn.
Then the people would stop freaking out about Dragon Age Veilguard.
Oh my god.
Honestly, you can have a top surgery scar.
That sounds great. People stop freaking out about
it's so funny.
Trans people.
Anyway, we should talk about the book at some point today. So they get to the bridges. Sylphrena is still alive at this point. But Cal can't absorb Stormlight properly, and Syl is acting like a child.
She's regressing.
Bouncing on the wind. And he realizes that he has oaths to both Moash and Dalinar. And so Syl is fucked because he made 2 oaths at the same time.
Can't keep them both.
And I question how much what he said to Moash was an oath. Amora, like, maybe. But
I mean, he says, like, I agree with your people. I'll let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's not like an oath to me.
Do they gotta spit on their hands, or what?
An oath is more like, I swear on my life that I will protect you. That's what he said to Dalinar. That's like an oath. Being like, yeah, I'm on board with the plan. Like, if my boy was like, you said you were on board, and I was like, yeah, I changed my mind. I wouldn't be like, he wouldn't be like, you made an oath to me, David.
But, like, if I was like, no, if you make a promise to somebody, if you're like, yeah, I'm good with this, and then you just change your fucking mind, like, people are gonna be like, what the fuck, dude? No.
Victor Cena says he was casual with Dalinar as well. He wasn't really casual with Dalinar.
I mean,
he was pretty. There was an official ceremony where he became the captain of the guard. Like that, I wouldn't say that was very casual. Yeah, but it wasn't like I swear on Tian's grave. That's right. It was a concept of an oath.
Oh my god, fuck off. I hate it. Shallan's drawing a sketch of one of the bridges because she literally needs to draw everything.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that bridge is going to be very important very shortly.
It takes them forever to move because Shallan is like, okay, one more crank, and they crank it, and it goes like, boop, and then she draws that, and then she's like, one more crank, boop. They're just there for hours as they're slowly lowering the bridge.
She's like, I can't let people know that I can draw things from memory, so I have to pretend that I'm drawing it there in the moment.
Yeah, that'll last a long time. So they keep going. Kaladin is watching her.
Yeah.
And he's like, that carpenter over there is interesting.
Wait, before we get that, Adolin is like, hey, so women. And Kaladin's like, dude, I don't know. What the fuck do you want from me? Like, I don't know.
So what are you into, Kaladin? I don't know. Dude.
No, he's like asking for advice. He's like, you know, what do women like? Kaladin's like, I don't know what light eyes women like. Probably stupid stuff. Like women's stuff.
I don't have a soul cast penis like you do, Adolin.
Yeah. I'm just stuck with my normal born with size. Boring. And then, yeah, Kaladin does notice a carpenter who seems very suspicious, who then collapses the bridge.
So he yells, Adolin! And so Adolin runs for Dalinar. And Kaladin is on the bridge. The bridge is broken. It's shattered. It falls.
Planes.
And Kaladin, in his attempt to survive, but his inability to absorb Stormlight anyway, and Syl screams in a way that sounded not good. Because she's dead. Because she's actually no longer alive.
Yeah.
And Kaladin falls, and he goes unconscious.
Yep.
Chapter 69, Nothing.
Nice.
Race is captive. He cannot leave the system he now inhabits. His destructive potential is, therefore, inhibited. Race is a captive on Roshar, I hope, or else why the fuck is this in the book? Kaladin wakes up, and he's like, oh, ow, everything hurts, but I'm alive. That's good. And he looks around. He doesn't see Dalinar or Adolin. He just sees the dead bodies of a bunch of different people. And Shallan comes around the corner, and she's like, hey. And he's like, hey, I saved you somehow. How the fuck did I do that?
She's like, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Good job.
So then we cut to Shallan's POV, and she's like, how the fuck did I save him?
Yeah. Oh my god.
And this is where we get the long, many-chapter conversation about them.
Yeah, it is a little weird to go chapter by chapter because this all kind of feels like one section to me, you know?
Yeah, the highlights of it are.
Forgive us if we jump around and it happened in a different chapter versus another, because this feels like one long scene to me.
Shallan and Kaladin
in a good way.
Begin to work together, and they start talking about stuff. And, you know, Shallan really presses Kaladin in a really good way about his prejudice towards Light Eyes. A prejudice that is well-earned, but a prejudice nonetheless. And Shallan and Kaladin kind of gives it back to her in terms of her entitlement. And she accepts that. Far better than I think Kaladin takes her criticism of his prejudices.
True.
I think that she's definitely mentally in a more secure place here. But in doing so, she reveals to him that she also has a significant amount of trauma in her backstory.
Yeah.
And they realize that they are much more similar than we previously thought.
Yeah. The moment where Kaladin is like... a lot of these we did react to, but the moment where Kaladin is like looking at Shallan and seeing the true like horrors of her past.
Yeah.
Right? Like looking beyond what she's saying and looking at her as a person who has chosen to try and continue to smile and make the lives around her better is one of the most like beautiful things I've read in a very long time. And I think that it like him relating her back to Tien, who we never got to see really like grow up. Like Tien like might have been. He died. Yeah.
He didn't grow up. He died.
That's what I said. Yeah, he didn't get to grow up.
No, you said we didn't get to see him grow up. So it doesn't matter. I was making a joke.
I was like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, like
maybe
Tien. No, Tien's dead.
Tien comes back in Wind and Truth, guys. I've read it. I'm ahead of you.
But like Tien might have...
I would throw the book across the room if that was true. Sorry.
I know. No, I trust me, I get it. Tien might have had struggles that Kaladin was so oblivious to, because Tien was always the one choosing to try and make Kaladin smile.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think that like Kaladin seeing that in Shallan and her choices about how to live her life was probably so refreshing, because Kaladin has been surrounded by people who are just as traumatized as he is
100%.
And have had it so hard and like are struggling to make that choice to to enjoy their lives, right? Like Bridge 4 is a tragic story, and no one really wants to talk about their past. Yeah. Everyone is pretty like shut up because they don't want to reveal too much about themselves and be too vulnerable. And Shallan is very vulnerable here and doesn't, and the way that it affects Kaladin, I think, is like one of my favorite things that I've ever read.
Yeah, no, I loved it a lot. I think that there's so much good here. And I think that, you know, Shallan doesn't become a perfect person in this conversation, which I appreciate. She still has some flaws, right? I think that her being able to be vulnerable and being able to press Kaladin the way she does is great. I also think that she's kind of shitty about it in some ways, right? I think that calling him Bridge Boy because Adolin does is not great. I think that it doesn't help the situation that she's being like they play this game where they're insulting each other, and she's significantly better at it than Kaladin is, right? She's very good at it, right? Yeah. She is mean. Sometimes she goes too far, particularly when she starts talking about parents. And the thing about them that Shallan, I think, doesn't do a good job acknowledging is that Shallan's trauma is terrible and it really sucks, right? But Shallan still has not truly experienced the insecurity of poverty and the insecurity of like power, right? Like Shallan's entire life, like her family has been at the top of the food chain her whole life. Even in the situation after her father's death where like it got dicey for a bit, she still had enough wealth to be able to hire a ship for months and to be able to join Jasnah, and then
she had to kill her dad for that first,
Yeah, no, 100%. And that is traumatic. But the difference between Shallan and Kaladin is that they've had these really traumatic moments in so many ways around like family and death and those kind of things. But Kaladin has also had the added difficulty of growing up with food insecurity his whole life, which is a level of like insecurity that drastically changes us on a mental level, right?
Yeah.
The studies done around food insecurity in children and the outcomes later on in life are so crazy that I genuinely think that if you are against school lunches being provided by the government, you are an evil person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually think that if you are against the government providing food to kids, you are evil. There's just too much research to show that it is very cheap and there's no reason not to do it, right?
Yeah.
And Kaladin was raised with that difficulty, was then put into slavery, where the withholding of food for the last, year of his life was a constant threat.
Yeah.
Where the difficulty around that, and granted that started to change with the Stew Knights, and that started to change when he had money, and like there were elements of Kaladin having a little bit more security, but that could have been taken away at any time in a way that Shallan has never experienced.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Shallan's lived experience of trauma is these incidents that are awful, but she still comes from a very rich place. And in her inability to view that, she crosses the line with Kaladin in the Chasm scene a few times.
Yeah.
That allows it to be a richer conversation. If she crushed this conversation, it would be less interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it would be a less interesting scene if she was just the perfect therapist.
Yeah.
She has to make some mistakes here in order for it to maintain tension, which is what Brandon Sanderson writes so well. By having Shallan push Kaladin on his prejudices and also make mistakes in the way that she introduces some of those things to the conversation, you're able to maintain a tension throughout the conversation over multiple chapters. Whereas if she was just fucking coddling him the whole time, it would actually be very boring.
Yeah, 100%.
She has to make some of these microaggressions so that he is able to be tense while also allowing in the things she does really well.
Yeah.
It's really good writing by Brandon Sanderson to keep it in both worlds and to have Shallan be able to accept her entitlement and apologize for it while also be affected by it in other parts of the conversation.
Yeah.
And not be like, her apologizing for it doesn't immediately remove it from her worldview.
Yeah.
And so she is a consistent character as she's taking these steps forward. And I think this is one of the best sections of writing Brandon Sanderson has ever written, in my opinion, because of the way he handles Shallan here. She's so three-dimensional in this conversation, making mistakes, but also making these advances forward in ways that allow it to not just be boring. It is a really interesting conversation to read because it's on a knife's edge the whole time, because Shallan keeps trying to pull it back, but then she'll go too far with Kaladin, and it's so good.
Not all trauma is the same, you know what I mean? And not everybody reacts to the same terrible things in the same way. It would be very boring if they both just had the same kind of trauma, or they reacted to it similarly. But there are things that they just can't even begin to understand, because there's no therapist or anything, which is a very fantasy. I've never seen any fantasy therapists. I think someone needs to write a series that includes...
therapy didn't exist until...
That's what I mean. Yeah. We need some fantasy therapists.
Judith Kennedy, thank you for that super chat. Meanwhile, Pattern just listening trauma.
Yes, lies.
100 years ago, women were given vibrators to solve their depression. So, therapy in the modern sense is not exactly
Yeah, but I'm not saying
do,
medieval times on Earth.
Yeah.
I'm saying do a fantasy setting where there's
the return of the pink Aja,
please, because there are things, like you said, there's studies that we know where kids who don't have secure access to food, how it changes them, whereas that's not something that our characters would even be able to begin to comprehend, because nobody in this world seems to really care about the mental well-being of people. Right? That's always a thing that is tossed to the wayside in stories that are in a fantastical setting.
And Bryce, this is a true thing that they used to waft smells between women's legs to attract the womb back to where it was supposed to be. That's true.
Supposed to be? What?
Yeah.
Nothing about that sentence.
Yeah. No, I think that I think that this is really well done, is what I'm saying. I think that this whole chapter is a very privileged character. Here's the thing. Shallan is eminently privileged, right? Her trauma doesn't change that. Her trauma makes her a more interesting character, and her trauma probably allows her to be more empathetic to people who have less privilege than she has. But she's a very privileged character. And so if she were able to just flawlessly have this conversation with Kaladin, it wouldn't really feel real, right? It would feel like Shallan becomes a caricature of a character in order to tell this, in order to further Kaladin's story. But because she still fucks up some ways, she feels like a real person you could meet.
Yeah, in the same way that Kaladin is very privileged in his home life growing up.
Yeah, and he acknowledges it. He acknowledges the love of his family existing. Yeah.
And how that affects you as a person, right? Like a person growing up, like in the same way that, like, you know, lack of food affects children growing up. Lack of love is also like a different kind of starvation. And so, like, Kaladin coming to that realization of, like, damn, I was lucky to have the parents that I had. Like, that feels such a, like, you know, like, mid-20s thing. That I have a lot of friends that are like, oh, as soon as I was not an asshole teenager and I moved out, I realized, like, how good I had it with how my parents, like, genuinely cared about me.
Well, because I think that you don't really talk about your relationship to other people's parents or other people's relationship to their parents until you're in your 20s. And then you start to realize that, like, and I don't have this problem because my mom and I have always had a good relationship, but my dad and I don't, right? And I think that even my relationship with my father is not nearly as bad as other people's relationships with their parents. But I didn't realize that until college. When I was in the middle of it, I was like, God, no one deals with this shit. And then when I started talking with people in college, I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. My relationship with my dad was not that bad. You know what I mean? And that's a big part of, you know, I think growing up is kind of realizing
it's perspective.
Whether, and some people have terrible relationship with their parents and they don't realize it until they leave home and realize they've been abused their whole life.
Yes.
Because they've never experienced anything else. So they're convinced that it's just parenting. And then they meet other people and they're like, oh, your parents don't withhold dinner as punishment. Like, that's abuse. That just is. You know, keeping food from children is abuse. And I will stand by that until the day I die.
Yeah.
And the people who, like, don't realize what their parents put them through until they experience other people away from their parents, where that, like, where their parents can't sort of occlude their view of other people's experiences, which is a big, like, dangerous thing in childhood.
Oh, my perspective on my life was definitely reframed having, like, seen you and your mom together and, like, living with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
For 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was truly an eye-opening experience. It's like, God damn, oh wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went through, I kind of watched you go through that in real time. It was, you know, because I love you, I didn't love it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. But it definitely gave me a lot of perspective because I, like, you know, I had friends who have, like, decent relationships with their families, but seeing, like, your whole family dynamic in real time, like, I had never experienced anything like that before, and it was like in a weird way its own kind of traumatizing, because I'd sit there at the dinner table and be like, I feel like so out of place here because, like, I don't know what this feels like.
Yeah, but, you know, and the sad thing about it, right, is I love my mom so much. She's the best, truly, truly the best. But my mom got there because she grew up in foster care, right? Like, not her whole life, but she was in and out of foster care when she was young.
Again, that perspective. That
led her to go get a degree in therapy. And so my mom doesn't work as a psychiatrist, but her degree is in psychiatry. And so, like, what she wanted her position as a parent to be came from what she was missing as a kid. And I feel like we see that a lot, right? You either, like, try and go against what happened to you as a child, or you become your parents. And I was really lucky that my mom, I love my mama, my grandmother, you know, like, that I have a nostalgic love for her, but I am also mature enough to acknowledge she had some huge flaws.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the grace my mother gave to her mother, given her flaws, is amazing. Like, my mom will forgive.
Your mom is a saint.
Everyone except Donald Trump. But my mom's a saint. But
Donald Trump is the line. She'll forgive everyone else.
My grandmother had some pretty deep flaws, and my mom managed to not become her, and that's really important. It's really impressive, right? It's one of the things I admire most about my mother is the way that she outgrew that, and
yeah.
Anyway, the point of all this is, let's talk about the saddest thing in the world. Kaladin realizes that the only real privilege he has had growing up was that his family was amazing, right? He really had the love of great parents. And the sad thing is he can never go back to them. In his mind, right? In his mind.
That's the thing is, I want that moment now so bad.
If they're alive. It's been years under fucking Rashon.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Like, Rashawn, like, might have felt like he got his revenge and just kind of been like, whatever. Yeah. His parents might have moved. Like, there's, like, a million factors in there. But, God, I really, really, really want a moment for Kaladin and his parents, because goddamn did they try and do their best.
No, and they did good work. Like, here's the thing. Like, in this world, to impart knowledge on your kid, like, not Tien. What's his dad's name? Liren did is huge, right?
Yeah.
And to try and keep your son away from being a soldier, like, there's so much that Kaladin's parents did so well.
Stealing from an old dead man so your kid can go to school, pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
People are complicated, though.
People are complicated. I would have done it, but here's the thing.
Being a parent, like, is not something we'll ever experience. But that, like, the way people talk about it is like, you will fucking do anything for your kids, and I'm like, all right. Well.
The fun thing about Liren's action is that I would have done the same thing, but I think that I'm a bad person. So I'm like, I want my fantasy characters to be better than me because I'm not a good person. Like, I would have just killed Sadius at this point, but I'm a bad person, right?
Right, yeah, totally.
And
awful. The worst.
I would never get an honor spread. I would get a lie spread. Those spread would fucking love me. They'd be like, yeah, this guy's willing to, like...
He's an actor. He pretends all the time.
Yeah, everything I say is a lie. That's not true.
Chew on that, chat.
No, but I think that anyway, I love this conversation. I love how complicated it is. I love how rich it is. This section in the Chasm might be my favorite piece of Brandon Sanderson's writing. After some of, maybe it's two, after some of the stuff in Emperor's Soul that I think was just so, like, almost poetry in Emperor's Soul.
I will say the end of the Mistborn trilogy did make me cry, and that's, like, kind of tough to do. So, yeah, that's true, too. That's also a highlight, but, yeah.
But this was one of my favorite pieces of Brandon Sanderson's writing, was the way that he weaved these two people's perspectives together in this conversation, while also
without diminishing either of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Or turning either of them into a prop for the other person's narrative.
Mm-hmm.
They both maintain their agency throughout this conversation in a way that I think is incredibly hard to do when you're switching perspectives. Yeah. But he crushes it here.
And they also don't do well, I had it worse because I had this, and but I did, like the weird, like, trauma Olympics, like, that would have been so cringy, like, and I would have hated that. But it was not like that at all. It was fucking brilliant.
Now, what I will say I don't like, it hasn't happened yet. So, it might not exist. But if this fucking leads to Shallan and Kaladin and Adolin being a love triangle, I might riot. I know. I don't want them to be together.
I know. He felt her body pressed against him. I was like,
no. This
might just be
let's not fucking do this.
Aware of my surroundings. Yeah. Or it might lead to some stuff that I don't want. Yeah. I don't want the CW cringiness.
Yeah.
Please. Because the Zane stuff, like we said in Mistborn, was like, not really that great. So,
no.
Yeah.
The honest truth is, I don't actually know that Brandon Sanderson has written any relationship in a way that I've thought was amazing. Right?
I think that Shallan and Adolin has been pleasantly surprising.
We're not at the end of it yet, though.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I haven't...
If we're only seeing complete relationships...
Even Elend and Vin, there was some weird shit in there. Especially around the Zane stuff. Like
Dalinar and Navani are also really lovely together.
I don't love Dalinar beating the shit out of Elhokar and then being like, by the way, I'm fucking your mom.
Yeah, but that's
There's some weird shit in this relationship shit.
Not with Navani.
I know. I think that Brandon Sanderson has done, it's particularly the love triangle in Words of Well of Ascension. He has not nailed love triangles in the past. I don't want Kaladin to be in a love triangle with them.
Unless they all date, like, together.
I don't want that either. Because Brandon Sanderson's version of polyamory makes me nervous.
Yeah, okay.
I want Kaladin to be able to have a relationship with somebody that isn't tempestuous and awful. And if he gets into a love triangle, he will lose, and it's gonna suck, and I just don't want it.
No, I agree. Official ACM wants to know which romance is better so far, Lan Nynaeve or Shallan Adolin?
Shalon Aelin. Land and Nynaeve's relationship is fucking insane.
Was actually insane. She literally bullied Lan. Look, she had a great moment at the very end, which I'm not going to spoil, but their relationship was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it was abusive, manipulative, like, Lan, poor Lan. Oof. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in the chasm? If they're engaged, yeah, it is.
Here's the thing, Mormon allows multiple wives. I don't think multiple husbands.
It's not really polyamory.
Fit in there. Yeah, no, it's a weird.
It's more of a harem situation.
Misogyny, power play.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because if a woman wants multiple husbands, well, that is.
We all know
illegal.
how I feel about Nynaeve and Lan's relationship at the end of that book. Actually, at the end, it's great.
Yes. It takes a while to get there.
It is the dropping the kids off at the school moment that I'm like, fucking Nynaeve. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so we've talked about the relationship stuff that happens. It's all good, mostly, as long as they don't end up in a love triangle. If they do end up in a love triangle, it will retroactively kind of ruin this stuff for me. But if they don't end up in a love triangle, this might be some of Brandon Sanderson's best writing.
Well, because I also think that having two characters come to understand one another is severely undercut by adding romance to that.
Yes, I agree.
Because then it's a sexual thing, and I think I think that it undercuts the message and the growth that is here, because it's like, oh well, they were hot, like I don't like that.
I will also say, I think you're sexually attractive because you and I have the same trauma is a very toxic way to start a relationship that is not good for anybody.
Zane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Cal has never encountered someone with the same level of trauma-wise before, and it surprised him, especially because of who Shalon is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sure that this whole thing was startling for him, because, the way that he saw Shalon before and after this whole sequence is... fucking world's different, right? Yeah. He had no... I don't think he believed that light-eyed people could be complex.
Yeah.
Or that anything
and honestly,
bad could
I would take it back.
them.
He's met people with the same level of trauma as him in Bridge 4. He hasn't met a light-eyed person with the same level of trauma, right? I think that, like...
Well, honestly, the people in Bridge 4 have not opened up a ton.
They haven't opened up, but I think that this is the first time he's seen that look in a light-eyed person's eyes, but he has seen that look in other Bridge 4 members' eyes.
Yeah.
He has watched men walk to the honor chasm before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has. So, like, I think it's more about him experiencing it with a light eyes and about him changing his mind about light eyes. I think that Cal is very aware of the fact that there are other dark-eyed people who have live in the same garbage that he does.
Yeah.
Right? But it's about him experiencing that from somebody who, A, is like Shalon, who is light-eyed, but also like Shalon in that she's like...
happy?
Smiles sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think that his experience of it has been, everyone like me will eventually commit suicide.
Yeah.
And this girl is not going to commit suicide. And so what does that say about the future of my life? That there's someone who has the same darkness and the same, like... pit in their soul
and has found joy in life,
but doesn't want to jump off a fucking chasm.
Yeah, it's almost like like someone to look up to in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, shit's been bad, and I've never seen how it can get better, but I see someone who's been through the fucking ringer and still is able to find joy, and maybe I can find joy again.
Yeah. Titanic, think about that super chat. If Kaladin is attracted to Shalon, it would be because she can take him out of his depression, like Tian did. I know, but like that's not actually a healthy relationship.
Yeah. That's what I mean. We need a therapist for Cal, not a girlfriend.
Yeah. You shouldn't start a relationship with someone because they might be able to fix something about you.
Yeah.
That's not that guys, that is not good. You need to be able to be there for each other, but not be solutions for each other.
Yeah. It is an easy trap to fall into.
Oh, yeah.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
But one of two things happens. Either you realize eventually that they don't fix you enough, and so you end your relationship, or you grow to the point where you don't need them to fix you anymore, and then they're not actually the person that you need. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome back to
Mr. Kite says codependence isn't healthy. No, especially when it's one-sided. We're not codependent.
It's fine. We're never.
We are independent people who
live in the same space. Yeah. Guillaume, thank you for that super chat.
We live on different floors of our house.
Basically, because it's warmer upstairs. So.
And it's colder downstairs.
Just got back from meeting, caught the end, tail end of Wheel of Time, talked to Let Me Say, Will He Ride Alone goes very hard. And I agree that the end of their relationship goes hard. Okay, goes hard. But how they got there was...
It's a mess.
A mess.
It's a mess.
a mess.
Brandon Sanderson honestly fixes it pretty well. I will say that. Brandon Sanderson nails that relationship. The other relationships, not his fault. He didn't write the epilogue. But anyway, let's move on from that because I don't want to spoil Wheel of Time and talk more about the Prince of Slaves. So let's talk about the practical side of this, what's going on while they're having this long conversation. They're walking around the chasms.
Yes.
And Kaladin is trying to use the sun rising over the chasms to determine which way is. I think they need to go west.
Yeah, he's also trying to take in Stormlight and is unable to.
So Shallan is insane because she is able to draw a top-down sketch of the planes as they walk.
She has a perfect memory.
Kaladin leads them the wrong way, so they go further into the Shattered Plains than anyone has ever gone. And so she starts to draw this map. And as she's drawing the map, she realizes, they might have gotten close enough to the center of the plains that she can map, like, basically the whole thing. Because Kaladin is like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the planes are symmetrical. I saw it in a dream. It's not because I can fly.
Totally a dream.
Which is
crazy.
Actually the truth. Right? Because he did see it in a dream.
He flew above the Shattered Plains.
But he also saw it in a dream.
Okay, so it's both.
It is both.
Okay.
He's just being honest about one of the two things. Because he did technically fly over the Shattered Plains as the Storm Lord in the dream sequence.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So it is both.
Okay.
And so because he says the Shattered Plains are symmetrical, she's able to draw, and it's the, like, putting the sand on a symbol and then fucking making noise things that
it is holy.
Capsule showed her.
Shattered Plains are holy.
Yeah.
Because symmetry is Jesus.
Of the Almighty. Symmetry is Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus had a very symmetrical face, you guys. And symmetrical abs.
The only person...
It's rare to have both.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's rare to have either. In fact.
Yeah, but it's extremely rare to have both symmetrical abs and symmetrical face.
That's how they knew that he was the son of God. He's like, this man... They were like, this man is too symmetrical.
Yeah.
There is no other explanation.
Yeah.
How else can you have a 16-pack that is perfectly symmetrical?
I mean, how else could you have a 16-pack at all? That's too many abs.
Yeah, son of God, you know.
You can kind of fake 8.
Yeah.
But 16 would mean that...
No, I know.
He has 2 sets of abs.
No, I know.
Which would be a horrifying thing.
No, I know.
His stomach would look like corn on the cob.
But symmetrical.
Oh, no. Sling's face, he did not have symmetrical balls. No man has symmetrical balls.
No, he's got a bit of a left lean.
Yeah,
you know. Judah, thank you for that.
His right ball's bigger, so his dick leans left.
Yeah. Thank you for that super chat. I wonder if Shallan questions why Cal randomly inhales sharply while he's trying to infuse Stormlight. Fuck.
Oh, both of them are idiots
Shallan is
here.
like...
They both should be able to figure out almost immediately that the other is...
Well, Cal has suspicions.
Kaladin is walking around going... Damn it.
He's doing breathing exercises from theater school where you pretend to breathe through a straw, okay?
It's a good warm-up.
It is.
It's a good warm-up.
You know, it's great for your diaphragm.
I'm going to be breathing through straws for the rest of the year, you guys. Oh, I signed my contract. Hey,
that's true.
Hey, guys.
Announcement.
If you're going to be in Toronto at any point in the rest of the year.
In the dead center of book club.
Starting from November 12th to January 5th. I think January 5th is actually extension. I think we technically close on December 31st. You can come see me in Toronto Young People's Theatre's production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Mm-hmm. I will be playing Mr. Salt, George, Grandpa George, and an Oompa Loompa.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to come see me do a musical, check out YPT here in Toronto, and I'll be doing that for 2 months. It's going to be sick. Yeah, that's why book club is changing. We have Friday afternoon shows for schools.
Yes. Because it's a lot of kids' performances, so... Yeah,
I signed my contract yesterday. So I am legally employed for the first time in years.
Wow, congrats!
By someone that isn't myself.
Did not even get close on my guess. Okay, Blue, what was your guess?
You're kind of tall for an Oompa Loompa. Yeah, I think I'm going to be running around on my knees. That's what I did when I was an elf. I should share that photo in the Discord, actually. It's very funny. Please. Me, like, with my fucking giant-ass arms and then on my knees.
Yeah.
But, gonna be doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited. They're paying me very well, and it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, come see the show. It'll be fun.
Can I see you at the stage door in Oompa Loompa gear? I won't be allowed to wear the costumes, but if I do have to paint my skin orange, I'll probably stage door in the makeup.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Annie would be hilarious, although I don't really know...
I'd have to shave my head and be Mr. Daddy Warbucks.
That's the only character you could really do.
Yeah, because I don't dance. I could be Rooster.
Rooster is just like really like sleazy and...
I mean, I've auditioned for Rooster a lot. But,
really? Yeah. Okay.
Because I can
I've
move.
always wanted to be Lily.
Yeah.
I think that's such a fun, kooky role.
Anyway, I start rehearsals for that October 14th or 15th because the 14th is Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But if I could be Annie?
No, you get to be the dog.
I'm not doing a dog again. The last time I did a dog, I did a dog. I played Nana in Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. Break Legs, I'm auditioning for Hunchback tomorrow. Congratulations, Jude. I hope you book it.
Shit.
Hunchback has one of the best scores ever written for anything.
True that.
The Bells of Notre Dame is like...
Bells of Notre... And you're like, why are we...
God help the outcasts out there. Like, I still think Hunchback has the best Disney score. Of the 90s Disney movies.
Okay, if we're doing of that era...
And you know what? I wouldn't even say that era. I think that Hunchback might have the best movie score of all time. For a musical.
Huh. Well, okay,
Anyway.
I think people would argue Prince of Egypt with you, but I think I agree with you on Hunchback.
Prince of Egypt would be my number 2.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's a shame the stage musical's so bad.
Yeah, I heard it was
rough. Yeah. Anyway, The Evil Dead the musical has my favorite score. That's fair. What was that?
The Prince of Egypt. What?
Oh, I said Evil Dead, and then you went, and I was like, what? That's not Evil Dead. Anyway,
no, it's not.
The last time I was a dog in bed. Hey, doggy style's
Hey.
great. It's a great position. That's so Shallan maps the Shattered Plains, and basically, as they finally realize that it's symmetrical, they're attacked by a chasm fiend. And so Shallan and Kaladin run away. They eventually, they make their way back. They start to figure it out. The map starts to help. Kaladin feels like he failed because he needs Shallan's map. He thought that he was going to be able to lead her. He's not. They eventually come back. They get attacked by a chasm fiend. Again, oh no, what are they going to do? They run into a crack. And in that crack, the chasm fiend is above them. And it's like scraping down at them.
It's like eyes, like...
And Kaladin is like, okay, I'm going to run. Then you run the other way. And she's like, I need my satchel. So you need to run left, and I'm going to run back to my satchel. He's like, why the fuck do you need your satchel, woman? And she's like, just fucking shut up and listen to me. Take this. And he's like, what do you mean? And then she's holding her hand, and he's like, there's nothing in your hand.
10,
Boom.
9,
shard blade.
8,
He's
7.
like, oh, of course you have a shard blade. You're rich. That makes sense. So he grabs the shard blade, doesn't hear screaming. Syl's dead. And so he runs out. He starts to fight the chasm fiend. And then Shallan is there all of a sudden. She's like, that's fucking weird. And then he's there above himself. And he's like, that's fucking weird. And he kills the chasm fiend by going into its mouth to stab through the brain.
Nom on him.
He does the Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets move, where you stab through the roof of the mouth, but you get punctured. And so you have the venom running through your veins.
Someone enemy Phoenix Tears? Anybody? Phoenix Tears? Someone call Fox.
This is really bad. The venom was a joke. There's no actual venom. But he is pretty fucked up. Shallan has to pull his body out. He's kind of been chomped at the waist. I'm trying to get through this because book club we have to move on. He stabs the chasm fiend. It dies. Oh no, the high storm's coming. What the fuck are we gonna do? So Shallan...
We have a shard blade.
Takes a shard blade and she starts carving up to the water line.
Yeah, they make themselves a cave. They literally fucking scale this fucking wall, make themselves a cave. They barely get in time,
but
right?
But Kaladin is like, Kaladin is like, you go.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can walk. I don't know that I can climb. My leg is fucked.
And she's like, you better fucking get your ass up here. And so he tries.
He does.
And she uses her very last sphere to haul him up as the high storm hits.
And he notices, hey, that's a done sphere. That's crazy. So, then, the water comes. Oh my god, storm wall hits. Kersplash. And it's much like Frodo looking down into the fields in Return of the King. Dead bodies are just coming up to the surface. And he sees faces in the water.
Oh, the swamp. Yeah.
It's called the Fields of... I can't remember. I should know
Dead
that.
Marshes. I can't remember what the fight was.
So, heads... They come up and he's looking in. Oh, the sharp blade changes size. That's right. It's a fucking knife all of a sudden. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, is that a shard blade thing or is that an honor blade thing?
No, Shallan has a shard blade.
What if Shallan has an honor blade and that's why Syl didn't scream? And she's alive.
That's fair. That's possible.
I don't know. Be a nifty trick because then Kaladin can have a shard spear. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm just saying. Be very useful. I haven't seen any of the other ones change, okay?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a time. The high storm is violent. But obviously they survive. Anyways.
So, then we cut to Vigil. Chapter 71. Actually, I think that actually is also... We've already talked about
That's in the
72.
middle. Yeah, so Teft and Sigzil are basically, they're watching. They're convinced that Kaladin's going to walk out of those chasms. And then, more of this stuff. I feel like we did the whole...
Dalinar is like, hey, you guys can sit here, but you're not allowed to miss meals. And Teft is like, I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
I was honestly surprised they didn't just cook the stew out at the place that they were holding vigil. Just all of them go eat over there.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
We do get a Shallan flashback in the middle of that.
We do.
Which is Balat is trying to run away. That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
So...
I don't know why you're laughing. This chapter is so sad.
Up. So Shallan's dad figures out that they're trying to leave.
Hilarious.
He calls Balat's love to the house. He murders his wife, and then Shallan poisons his wine.
Yeah.
And then the poison doesn't work good enough, so she has to choke him to death.
You skipped over the part where he takes a poker from the fireplace and repeatedly batters Balat's knee in.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Balat stabs his dad. Misses. Why? Because he actually caught the Soulcaster, and he breaks the Soulcaster.
Yeah, that's
this chapter fucking sucks. There's a number of questions I have, though, about it.
Okay, it sucks in the way that it is, like, is really sad. Like.
Yeah. No, it's well written.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No. None of the chapters in this book are poorly written. Yeah, but this one sucks to read.
It's rough.
Melise is dead on the ground,
mm-hmm.
Which nobody notices at first. They like go into the room, and then
Shallan notices.
Shallan catches it later
because she leaves the room.
Yeah, I know, but but everyone is so focused on what's going on with Eliat, whatever her name is. Alita, Alita Battle Angel?
Yeah.
Is she gonna get a robotic body and start fighting? Anyway, Alita Battle Angel, or Battle Angel Alita, if you read the manga, the movie's actually better than I thought it was gonna be. I like that movie a lot. I'm the only person, I think, but I think Alita Battle Angel is actually a really good film, and Christoph Waltz is fantastic in it. Shallan, like, realizing that her stepmom is dead. This chapter is wild. So much happens.
Yeah.
Poor Alita
is like, I don't want to be here. I just fell in love with the wrong person whose family is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. The only reason that Shallan sees a dead body is because she leaves the room, right? Because Melise is like is in the kitchen door. And that's when she comes back and she's like, oh, you know what? He went too far. Time to die, bitch. So she takes the poison that Jushu or Wickham? Jushu had given her that was like, I was going to kill myself with this, but here, you take this. It gets the more potent the longer you keep it. And she's had it for years.
I'm happy to see people in chat are saying Alita Battle Angel's good.
Oh,
I feel vindicated because I know that movie made no money. And I thought I loved it in theaters. I loved it out of theaters. I've probably seen it 5 times. I really like it. I need to read the manga because I've never actually read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you're right. Sorry, keep going.
It was, so Shallan is the one who sees her dead and realizes that, like, the line has been crossed. So she...
Judah Catazaris, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for that super
First
chat.
time I read that scene, I thought Balat struck a spike that his father had, which would have been cool and was a preliminary theory of mine. You thought that he was like fucking... Hemalurgy?
Yeah.
Dude, if they introduced hemalurgy in this chapter to this world, I don't know what I would do.
Damn, alright. That would be crazy.
Double M says it made about 400 million. How much did it cost, Double M?
400 million seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, I know, but the movie cost like 280, I think. It was like wildly expensive because of the CGI.
Okay. Alright, so it did okay.
Alita. Yeah, I think the budget for it was like a shit ton.
Okay.
Oh, no, the budget was only 170, so it still lost money, but it didn't lose that much money. It just didn't really make any money.
What do you mean? It made 400.
Yeah, so it probably started to be profitable at about
350.
No, probably about 450 it would have been like profitable.
What?
Yeah, because you have to double it and then consider because the problem with like, oh my god, really quickly, after advertising, most of the money worldwide, you actually keep less than so in America, you typically keep about 50% of the box office, right? Which is why they say double it. So if your domestic total was 400, they would have made money. But if that's the worldwide, like in China, movie studios get about 30% of what they make in China back. And so in order for the movie to become profitable, you have to make X amount more.
I guess.
Yeah, it just gets really complicated.
Here's the thing. I did not see a lot of marketing for this movie, so can't have spent that much.
Babe, you're not aware of anything. So you not seen marketing for something.
It was a joke.
You might have seen a lot of marketing for it, and you don't remember it.
Ha ha ha! Funny joke.
Anyway, Hollywood accounting's complicated. No movie ever makes money so that they don't have to pay taxes. That's a true thing. So anyway, stab. That's how the Soulcaster breaks.
Yep. And then Lynn literally like fucking just. I feel weird that Shallan and Kaladin's dads have very similar names. Lynn and Laren. Lynn.
That's a really interesting point.
Beats the shit out of his son, and then falls over poisoned, and they think he's dead. JK, not dead. I guess that poison after years still was not potent enough. Or
I'm not sure.
Something I don't know.
I don't really understand that.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe it's a like it gets more potent over time, and then there's a point where it starts to get less potent. Because that would make sense.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Shallan takes the necklace that her dad gave her, and chokes him to death with it while singing to him.
Hot.
Fuck. That's kinky. Fucked up. Some fucked up shit. Whew, man. Anyways.
She also, in the reaction, I started to sing a lullaby as a joke, and then Shallan starts to sing a lullaby as she's killing her dad, and I felt like I was omniscient in a way that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, didn't like it. We do have a scene while Shallan and Kaladin are in the... No. This is actually Dalinar finding them again. So,
the next chapter technically is 74, which we've already kind of talked about, but we should say that it ends with them... the
Stormfather.
Yeah.
Right, I did forget that moment.
We get this sort of vision moment where Kaladin is healed all of a sudden, and then he talks to the Storm Lord, who is like, yeah, no, Syl is fucking dead. You dumb
killed
fuck.
her. You motherfucker. I told you this would happen.
Yeah.
And Kaladin again.
Opens up to Shallan completely. He tells her about Amaram. He basically tells Shallan that he's the one who killed Helleran, but she doesn't immediately put that together, which is interesting. He talks about Tavlakov and is like, oh, she knows Tavlakov. That's weird.
Yeah.
Because we arrived at the Shattered Plains in the same wagon.
Yeah. To be fair, he had 3 wagons. It might have been the other wagon.
And then he hears chanting and sees some strange spren, which is probably the Parshendi transforming to Stormform.
Yeah, not good. Very bad.
And then Shallan says that she killed her own father. And then she's like, yeah, and also my mom died. Don't really get into how that happens.
Still don't know where her soul is.
I'm assuming that flashback is in part 5.
Must be. It honestly must be.
Or book 5. Who knows? And then she admits to him that her plan was to steal the Soulcaster from Yasna. And Kaladin immediately has the same opinion of it that I did in book 1 that y'all guys complained about. But Kaladin and I fucking agree about this shit. It was a bad plan. Anyway. I'm just mad at you, chat. And then... Kaladin gets a giant face in his face and is like, hey, Storm Daddy. And he's
Storm Daddy.
What's up, Child of Honor? And Kaladin's like, not anymore. Is Syl dead?
Syl dead.
Yes. Is Shallan a Radiant? Don't know.
I mean, he's got suspicions.
No, he rumbles. It's sort of like when you cast like divination in D&D and your DM is just like, I don't know, man. Your god isn't aware. Yeah. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then they come out of the vision. Shallan is aware of the vision that just happened. Yeah,
she's like, what was that? I'm assuming she got a different vision.
Stormfather ends the vision by being like, you will never ride my winds again. And then Kaladin realizes that Shallan is comfy and they fall asleep.
Yeah, in the high storm. We get to chapter 75, True Glory, where Amaram and Dalinar are hanging out, and we get weird, vague comments about Dalinar having a plan for Amaram that we have no context or information for, so I love that will become relevant at some point.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. On behalf of chat, I was wrong and you were right.
Thank you, Johnny.
Hey, Victor,
it takes a lot to admit that.
Humans do be comfy.
Humans do be comfy.
Guys, while Claris goes to the bathroom, I just want to speak quickly on the value of cuddle your friends. get comfortable cuddling. Cuddles make the world better, okay? They just do. You gotta be cuddling. Honestly, now I feel like I've been rushing through some stuff because I was worried about time. We're almost at the interludes, and it's only been an hour and 49. It's gonna be a short book club. We kind of rushed book club today. But I feel like I've said everything I want. I don't think I've missed anything I've wanted to say so far. I feel like we've kind of gotten through it. Honestly, and here's the thing. This might be my favorite week of reading in Words of Radiance, weirdly. But here's the thing. I actually feel like not that much happened this week. It was really good stuff, and I liked it all, right? But not a lot happens. It's really just, but it's great, right? And this is what's funny is that people always accuse me of like wanting the plot to like move in very particular ways, and they did and they do, but Teft backstory, isn't that in this chapter? Did we? Oh my God, we skipped over the Teft thing. Oh my God, we have to talk about Teft, y'all. So we skipped over it because we were making jokes about food. Teft, his family was a cult. Teft's okay, guys, we gotta talk about this. This shit was great. This might have been the craziest part of the week. So we don't know how Shallan's mom died yet, double M. We're pretty sure that Shallan did it. We just don't know how. And we might be wrong. So Teft's parents were in a cult that believed that if they could put themselves in so much danger that they would activate their radiant powers and become Radiance, right? So they would basically commit suicide in an effort to turn on their radiant powers by being in so much danger that they would die. His mom was crushed by a rock intentionally, but like, it's so crazy because the cult should have read a fucking book about the Radiance and realized that you're not a Radiant until you make the oaths. So they were just, even if they were Radiants, it's not being in danger that makes you a Radiant. We know that.
Yeah, they fucked up.
There's so many books that say that. You're the dumbest cult ever.
Yeah, this cult did not do their research.
It would be like reading the Bible and being like, oh, one of us is going to be Jesus, so we should start attempting to kill ourselves because Jesus can't die. When Jesus dies in the Bible, by like mundane ways. Jesus dies of totally normal shit. He bleeds out slowly over 3 days. It's gruesome. It's awful.
Yeah, that would suck.
Passion of the Christ 2, coming soon. How does that work? I don't know.
No idea.
Jesus
should I watch
died. I don't know if you guys have
Christ?
seen the Passion of the Christ. Jesus dies in that movie.
Should I watch it? Is it any good?
That's actually really complicated. People have very strong feelings about that movie. I don't know. I don't know. It's I think it's well made. Like I think it's like technically a really good movie. It's very intense.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Enroach.
Is it like a really good like fantasy story?
Yeah, I spoiled the Bible, you guys. Oh no. Yeah, a book that's longer than Words of Radiance with more plot lines.
It's interesting to call the Bible, like saying that the Bible has a plot.
I mean, it does.
Which Bible?
No, the general Bible has like a plot, especially in the New Testament. The Old Testament less so, but the New Testament has a plot. You don't think it is that? You don't think the Passion of the Christ, the third highest performing R-rated movie of all time, is well known? Come on.
No, I think people have heard of the Bible.
If
I've heard of the Bible, I think other people have heard of it.
No, I've read the book. That's very funny, you Jack. Jim Caviezel's an interesting man who I've met a few times. He played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. He famously got struck by lightning while on the cross while they were filming that movie. No joke. That is real. Yeah. Jim Caviezel now.
That's weird.
Is a weirdo.
That's weird. I think I would let that go to my head too. If I was playing Jesus and got struck by lightning, I think I'd be insufferable after that.
He kind of is. But it's not really his fault. So I only met Mr. Caviezel. We're not friends. On the set of Person of Interest. I worked on the show a few times. And he is a QAnon guy now. He's kind of a loony bin. But he also, like... Jim Caviezel lives with a lot of pain because of an accident that happened on a motorcycle stunt. And...
That sucks.
It was difficult. Like, working with him was interesting because he was doing this action show called Person of Interest. And if you watch season 3, episode 11, you can see my young face in it in a scene in the flashback. But he would have to, like, lie down between takes because his back was so fucked up by that motorcycle accident. And so he felt like a very standoffish person when I met him. Every time every conversation I had with him felt a little stilted. But it was generally like he was going to go lie down on this cot that they always had for him between takes.
Yeah.
And so I don't really blame him for that. I think that's like,
fair.
I think the pain that his body is in, it has really affected him.
Yeah.
I don't know him well. I've only met him a few times. He was never unkind to me. I'm not saying anything, but yeah, it does seem. I think that that injury seems to affect him a lot, and I don't know. But the way that he behaves now is kind of cuckoo, so I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Some of his like right-wing interview stuff that you can find on Rumble is like,
oh no,
actually unhinged. Anyway,
Jesus was definitely a Republican. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel about
cults?
The Teft backstory that we skipped over because we were making jokes about food.
No, that's fair. I'm
actually.
No, I agree with you. What you said though, this cult is not a very good cult.
Grogu pajama pants.
Ooh,
Gambaro saying that super chat.
Thank you. Clarification meant the mechanics of being a Radiant seems to be portrayed as very obscure lore that people avoid because they were traitors. Sure, but like Teft also has a bunch of information that other people don't. And it seems like the oaths are such a huge part of it that I'm like genuinely surprised that this cult did not know about the oath part of it. Like look, I don't know. Or the Spren part that they had bonded Spren. There is so much that it's like, it feels like somebody one morning in a small town was like, the Radiants were pretty cool. I think I'm going to start like worshiping them or whatever. We're gonna make a cult about being Radiant, and like maybe one of us could be a Radiant one day. Like, it doesn't feel like it actually came from an uninformed perspective. So I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like a bad idea. You know, cults generally a bad idea. Maybe not always. I feel like Disney is kind of in a weird way a cult, but even that has its negatives. Yeah. Anyways, It is one of those weird things where it just like they seemed so ill-informed to be risking their lives.
Yeah, it seems like there's enough information about the Radiance that still exists that they would have been able to find something. You know what I mean? That they would have read a book about it before. They knew the oaths. Tef literally told Calvin the first one. That's true. That's actually a good point. So they were doing this dumb shit even though they knew better. So basically, they were your average cult.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I feel so bad for Teft. Teft's backstory is crazy. The thing is, what did Teft do after this? We don't really have his backstory. What did Teft do after this that makes him feel like he shouldn't be in charge anymore? Because he did something like that. That was his original trauma.
There's something that he
did. But he did some shit after that.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to dive into.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't read the directions. All right, let's dive into the final chapter before we get to the interludes.
Chapter 75.
Glory, Dalinar and Amaram are having a conversation. And Amaram is like, come on, just like make good with Sadeas before you go. And I'm like, Amaram, are you fucking stupid? Like, are you the dumbest person in these books?
Amaram's like, I'm sure Sadeas will betray you again, but you guys could pretend to get along maybe. I'm like, why? What value?
What does that do?
Yeah.
And Dalinar, but so Amaram in this conversation both says, you need to be good with Sadeas because it would be bad if you guys went to war. And also, you need to punish Sadeas more for not listening to the king. And I'm like, but Amaram, you just said you don't want them to go to war, and the only thing that Dalinar could do to Sadeas at this point is fucking fight him.
And here's the thing. I think Amaram is...
dumb.
Not very... Yeah, he is not very smart. Amaram is the equivalent of, like, a content creator who has an entire PR team to work on his marketing. Because he's got, like, people only ever say good things about him. You know, like, he has curated his brand so closely, but it wasn't him that made any of those decisions.
Yeah.
It was a team of people around him who are not getting paid enough and are working overtime to make up for his shit. It's why he only just got here. He had to, like, work for years to not, like, fucking put his own foot in his mouth when he goes and meets the High Princes. Because
his connection to power was Gavilar, and with Gavilar gone, he had to work his way back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Light Blind and Fool, thank you for 5 gifted members.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. That's so
anniversary.
kind. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. We have been married for 4 years. We have been married for 4. We have been married for 4 years. We have been married for 4. Hey!
Nailed it.
Amram literally needs to get the entire fuck out of here. I know, dude. Amram, I really don't like him.
Just kill him already.
So then they are...
I do love that Hoyd also does not like Amram.
Yeah, because Hoyd knows that Amram's a piece of shit. Also, Hoyd calls Amram a piece of shit in front of Dalinar. And Dalinar isn't like... It's interesting that both Wit and Kaladin...
Yeah.
Why does Wit think that Amram's a piece of shit? Because Wit isn't even funny about Amram.
Oh, no, he's
just like, oh, you're a bad person.
Mean.
You're
he's
a
like,
terrible person.
You are a piece of shit who deserves to be mud on the bottom of my shoes. And I was like, God damn.
Yeah, like... Honestly, and look, I know that Dalinar doesn't put a lot of stock in Wit, but if Wit was... This is what's so weird about it. If Wit were to be, like, funny, mean to everybody... And then I watched him be this to one person, I'd be like, there's a reason. Nope, this person, everything is intentional with this character. There is a reason that this is going the way that it is, and I need to, maybe Kaladin was right.
Yeah. Alec, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. Thank you. We, yeah.
Yeah.
We got marriage.
We got marriaged. And I regret it every day. Amaram.
Fair.
So they...
Why you don't wear your wedding ring?
Yeah, that's why. I'm getting the tattoo as soon as we get back from Japan.
I know.
I just don't want to have to cover it the whole time we're in Japan.
I know.
So what were we, there's a horn for Chrysalis, but it's too far away. Oh
yeah, they're like, don't bother.
Amram's like, well, Sadeas is gonna go after it, and I don't know why Dalinar would give a shit. Dalinar's like, yeah, let him. Fuck it. He can go get the crystal.
Yeah, Sadeas can go be petty.
And then we find out that the people who are supposed to go aren't going because it's Sabarial. And fucking, who is this guy? Royan? Have we met Royan?
Met him? No, I don't think so. But he's definitely been mentioned.
So Royan, Dalinar is hoping that Royan will come on his adventure to the Shattered Plains.
Maybe he's the first High Prince that Dalinar approached about doing joint assaults. I can't remember.
I don't remember them. They're all the same. All of the High Princes that aren't Sadeas or Dalinar are the same person to me.
Or
Sabarial.
Yeah, for sure.
And so someone runs up and is like, hey, what's up, Daddy-O? The chasms. And he's like, oh no, what is it now? And they're like, he came out of the chasms. And they're like, what do you mean?
He is risen.
Yeah. He was gone for 3 days.
Risen is a different character.
No, but they were literally down there for 3 days.
Was it 3 days?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, this is the 3rd day.
No, there was a high storm on the next day.
Right, but this is the day after the high storm. Yeah, no. Kaladin comes out of the chasm on the 3rd day after they sleep twice, so it's the 3rd day.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Brandon Sanderson made
3 days.
Brandon Sanderson made him Jesus.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah. This isn't subtle at all.
Isn't this like...
Kaladin is Jesus.
He's Mormon. Is he allowed to do that?
I mean, every fucking Christian writer makes their characters Jesus.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's because it's self-insert, you know?
He's Gandalf on the 3rd day, look to the east. That's not the quote.
That's the 5th day, actually.
Because Gandalf isn't Jesus.
Yeah. No, it's 5.
Because Aragorn is Jesus. It takes him 3 days to get to Helm's Deep after he falls.
Right. Reverse Jesus.
Yeah, it's just the Bible. You guys, it's just the Bible.
I've read this before.
This isn't subtle. Kaladin is Jesus.
We've been doomed.
Yeah, no, that's not Jesus. That's Muhammad. That's the Quran. Yeah.
Oh.
Dune just steals from the Quran, and everyone else steals from the Bible.
Got it. Okay. We've been Bibled.
We've been Bibled.
Did the Bible just Dune?
No. The Dune is the Quran.
Uh-huh.
Everything else is the Bible.
Great. Love that for me.
If you want to understand Western media, everything else is the Bible.
Got it.
So then Kaladin, like Jesus, comes out, and Dalinar's like, yo, that's so... Dalinar runs the entire way, is the quote, which is really good for an old man.
Gotta keep up that cardio.
Well, and this we were joking. We're like, this is probably the first time he's had to run not wearing shard plate in forever.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, this is what it's like without superpowers.
Yeah.
I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Either that or Dalinar runs 5K every morning.
He might be that guy who gets up at 5 a.m. to run a 5K.
He drives Navani fucking crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
And so Kaladin is in the medical tent. Duncan, Idaho is Jesus. That's fair.
Yeah, Kaladin's like, yeah, I remember those like Chasm Fiend rumors.
Well, no, we have to get to... He does the slowest salute ever. As Dalinar's like, don't get up, your leg's bleeding. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I've got to... Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Then he pulls out a gem heart.
Well, first of all, he's like, I brought her back, sir. Shallan is here.
No, I thought that...
No, he introduces Shallan first.
Oh, right. He's like, I had a duty to fulfill.
And he's like, one daughter-in-law, a gift to you.
Express delivered.
Also...
USPS could never.
You hear about that chasm fiend? And then it rolls across the ground to Dalinar's foot. And he opens the package. And there's a gem heart inside. I thought I was losing my mind when they were going up into the chasm cave and didn't grab the gem heart first.
I know.
And I'm so glad that the chasm fiend's body was stuck there.
Yeah.
So that they could get the heart.
Yeah.
And then he tells Dalinar the truth. And he's like, yeah, I killed it. How? Don't fucking ask, because I did not have a weapon.
And Shallan's like, don't be such a fucking liar. It was already dead.
The only reason we were able to get the gem heart is because it was already dead. And then Kaladin goes, yeah, Shallan is right. It was already dead. And Dalinar's like, you are so bad at lying. You're a terrible liar.
And Dalinar's like, hey, Kaladin, is there any chance that you're a fucking Radiant? And Kaladin's like...
Syl's dead, sir.
Not anymore.
Sylfrena died.
Yeah.
It's very sad. Yeah. I feel bad for Kaladin.
It actually was very sad, and I've been waiting for this moment, and the fake out of it, I'm like... it's
well,
fine.
And Dalinar's like, your boys... knew you were coming back. They knew you were going to be alive. You're a fucking Radiant. And they know it. You fucking idiot. Oh, I'm so dumb. I've been looking for you this whole time.
Kaladin's like, psych!
This is where... Kaladin is like, you need to talk to Shallan. She figured out where the Parshendi are. And Dalinar's like, well, that's very convenient, because I had no clue where I was going.
Yeah. Thank God we now have a plan.
It was Amaram that was like, you don't know where you're going. I hate agreeing with Amaram, but whatever. And
Navani...
before we go to Shallan's POV, Dalinar immediately is like, where did Amaram go?
Oh, he literally disappeared,
Yeah.
Because Amaram is the one who tried to assassinate Kaladin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in on it with Sadeas
100%.
to make sure that Kaladin didn't come back. I guarantee it.
Here's the thing. It might have not even been Sadeas.
It might have been...
It might have just been Amaram, but
it had to be Sadeas. It had to be fucking... Because the person working for Dalinar had to be one of Sadeas' wives'
Must be me.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a ding?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go check.
You sure?
Yeah, keep talking. I don't want them to take it to the fucking...
Yeah. No, 100% this was all fucking Amaram's bullshit. And Amaram, coming out, disappearing here is so suspicious. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure if Sadeas was involved. I know that the carpenter was from Sadeas' camp, but... Amaram works close enough with Sadeas that he could, get one of his guys. But yeah, you know what? Sadeas is just guilty by association, because fuck that guy. We also get, Navani being... Yeah? What?
Who is Tuda Matoshi?
That's my dress!
I know.
It's here early?
I wanted your reaction on camera.
I'm so excited.
Clarice has been waiting for this forever. ever.
I'm so excited. Okay.
You've never looked that happy looking at me.
That's not true. There is video proof of our wedding day. Okay, I'm just throwing that out.
Okay, so
there.
one time.
You just look so cute. Also, you've gotten a lot of beard compliments today.
I know. Mm-hmm. I don't like to bring up when they're complimenting me because it feels like narcissistic.
Okay, so then I'll do it.
To like be like, thank you for complimenting me. Thank you for complimenting me. That feels, I don't know.
Thank you for being here today.
So Navani's full on mother.
Yeah.
Cubbing.
She goes full like mother axe hound is the expression.
Yes.
On Shalyn, which is like just it's so beautiful because like
put some clothes on the girl.
We're talking about how like Navani must feel absolutely fucking awful that like that she couldn't cope with her own loss to like have any kind of relationship with Shalyn. Mm-hmm. She's gonna make up for that tenfold. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
And then Shalyn gets to have a bath and go to bed.
Well, no. She has a bath, and while she's in the bath, Pattern goes and spies on Navani and Dalinar, and then comes and relates the whole conversation, and then is like, they got very close, and they started to make some noises. I can recreate them if you would like me to.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, no, Dalinar. Oh, my God. Oh, Navani. Oh.
Accurate representation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That literally sounded like an anime where they went all over one another.
But the conversation that they're having is about Navani not wanting Shalyn to have to go with him. And he's like, no, she needs to go with me. She can only draw what she's seen.
She is the map from Dora the Explorer. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
And Navani is like, well, what if you don't come back? What if I lose everything again? And I was like, yeah, girl. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And so then Shalyn gets out of the bath and goes and talks to Dalinar and is like, I want to come with you. And Dalinar's like, that's great, because I was about to ask that you come with me. So that makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot easier.
She's nailing this whole wifey vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have to wife her up because they need her.
Yeah. And so she gets a great scene with Adolin. Where Adolin comes in and is like actually like physically affectionate with her,
and yeah, she literally like makes him kiss her, and it, you know, he loosens up a little bit because fucking all that.
Better loosen up. She's gonna peg the shit out of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ready for that.
Oh, not yet. No.
They're gonna have to do a lot of work together.
But all of their sex life is gonna be her leading him into things.
Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, he can't read, so he doesn't know about different positions. I guess she could get him a picture book of positions.
He likes to read magazines.
There's a men's Kama Sutra that has no words in it. It's just different pictures that look like sex.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
I believe that 100%.
And their moment together is very cute. I liked it a lot. The only thing I didn't like about it is that I don't know that Brandon Sanderson understands kissing. Because he says that Shalyn kisses him by encircling his mouth with hers, which is just an insane way to describe a kiss. Because it implies, I'm going to demonstrate this. It implies that Shalyn goes into the kiss like this. Oh, and that's awful.
Don't do that.
It's like, what do you mean she encircled his mouth with hers?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It really, I didn't like it. I did not like the encircling word.
No.
Everything else about their moment together, loved. Really well written, beautiful moment. Love that Adolin cares about her so much.
I also love that Shalyn is like, or he's like, I will protect you. I'll never let this happen to you again. And Shalyn is like, you shut your dirty whore mouth. All right. Don't talk to me with that tone of voice.
And he's so confused.
He's like, wait,
he's trying to be romantic. Like, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make sure nothing ever happens to you.
Yeah, he's like, I thought that was what I was supposed to say. I don't know.
And so when Dalinar and Navani come in, and Dalinar's like, I'll make sure nothing happens to you. I'll protect you. Aelin's like, she doesn't like that.
No, don't, abort.
Let her do whatever she wants. She's very scary. She puts her whole mouth on mine. It's very weird, Dad.
Ernest, thank you so much for that super
She kisses like no woman I've ever been kissed before.
Pattern pulled a Shannon Sharp.
A Shannon Sharp?
I don't know who that is, so I'm just gonna...
I'm not sure what you mean he pulled a Shannon Sharp.
I'm assuming the sex noises are a thing.
Because of the Instagram Live last week! That's so funny!
Oh.
It took me a second. That's such a good joke.
I just assumed that Shannon Sharpe was like a comedian, and
Shannon Sharpe is one of the greatest tight ends of all time. And last week, now he's
a man.
Shannon is he's a man. He's a very, very handsome, very strong football player. And last week he accidentally went live on Instagram Live.
You told me that.
Was thousands and thousands of people live got to listen to him have sex, and many millions have seen it since. The thing about it, here's
free porn.
Here's the thing about it.
He should have charged for that.
It was an accident, and it's only audio, and so I think that everyone's gonna laugh about it and move on. Also, it sounded like she was having a good time, so. No one, you can't be that mad at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just two people consensually having a good time.
A very fit formal football player is good at sex. And has sex. It's like the least surprising news ever.
Sure, yeah.
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 And just thank God he wasn't cheating. It's a little bit embarrassing, but like, whatever.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, yeah, people are just gonna, like, laugh about it in like, 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah, that's embarrassing, but it could have been so much worse. Yeah, like people are like, "Oh my God, his friend's gonna fire him for what? Like having consensual sex with his partner?"
Yeah, that would be so fucking goofy.
I'm a big Shannon Sharpe fan, so his interview with Cat. If you have not seen the interview with Cat Williams and you want to see a celebrity fucking tear apart Hollywood, watch it. It is so good. It's a great interview. I think Shannon Sharpe's show's great. I loved his interview with Kevin Hart. I watch him most nights after football. Him and Ocho's show, I really enjoy. And so I'm a big fan of his. And I'm glad that this has all been moved on from and that it's fine. But I do feel bad that I'm sure it was embarrassing. I feel bad for him on that. But he knows he's got many, 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 many fans who are not going to fucking like leave him over this.
How dare this man get laid?
Yeah, well, it sucks. It sucks when it's public like this because companies can get a little bit skittish, right? Like, you know, ESPN would be like, it's a morality clause thing. And it's like, you know, I'm glad they didn't. Look, I'm on his side. Like, I'm glad they didn't. But you just never know how companies are going to overreact in these situations.
Yeah, right? For sure. No, that's fair.
So, yeah. Shalon then is like, hey, Dalinar. Sorry, back to this conversation.
Oh, Shalon, I have a favor from you.
No parchment. Leave all the parchment here. And then Clarus in the audiobook reaction, you made the best fucking point here. And what was that point?
Well, the people that get left behind are going to be stuck with all the parchment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oopsie.
It's bad.
Yeah, so basically,
it's like really
if
bad.
all of the, like, asshole bad guys get left behind, it's kind of like a win-win.
No, my concern, and I voiced this in the audiobook reaction, so I'm repeating myself, but my concern is that the women and, like, non-necessary personnel of Dalinar's camp are going to be the ones who are in the worst situation. Mm-hmm. Because the Parshmen in, like, Sadeas' camp are going to be fighting soldiers, and the Parshmen that turn into storm form or whatever form in Dalinar's camp are going to be fighting, like, non-combat personnel, like James Ross says, right?
Yeah.
Like, you run into the problem of Dalinar's camp is actually the least protected in this scenario. And so those are the people who are going to be the most damaged by this, and that is a fucking tragedy.
Yeah.
Like Navani, right?
Oh, I feel like Navani's going to come with them.
I think Shalon's the only woman going with them.
No, I think Navani's going to be like, fuck it. If you are all out there risking your lives, you think you're going to leave me the fuck behind? Like... If you guys all die, I want to die with you is kind of the vibe I get from Navani.
That's fair. I'm worried that that's not what's going to happen, though.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like Navani has all those people working on Fabrials, and they're all going to get wiped out.
No more Chads.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
And so that's kind of where it ends. Dalinar says that he will leave the parchment behind because Shalon says that Yasna said so. And everyone respects Yasna so fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
None of the men can write. They have to take women. That's true, but I feel like Navani is no mere scribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that she's too attached to Shalon now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone she loves is going... Because it's debatable on whether she loves Elhokar. So she's like, I'm going to go... Is
Elhokar going on the excursion?
Dunno.
He kind of has to, because if they do succeed... If they don't succeed, he's left with Viper Den and no one on his side, right? All of his allies are gone. And if they do succeed and the king isn't there when they do, that looks bad.
Looks bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time for Das Interludes.
Lan comes back.
It's Lahan.
Nynaeva's not here, which is fine.
Yeah. Instead, he's with Pi, who is a devout female ardent of the circle of
detachment.
Denial.
Not a river.
Something like
not
that.
just a river in Egypt.
I hate that you made that joke.
But so it's funny.
Much.
Haha. Funny haha.
I cannot believe you just made a denial joke. Wow. So basically, the point of this chapter is that this Ardent is Lahan has been tasked with convincing Pi not to make a stink of things because they have got it good in Alethi, in Alethkar.
Yeah, the queen kind of sucks.
Isodan.
Yeah. Isodan sucks. She's living in excess. People around her are starving. She is indulgent, does whatever she wants.
They're not sending food to the Shattered Plains.
And then she just surrounds herself with people who enable her because she pays them well.
Yeah, and so Pi seems to be mollified by this argument, but then spends the entire night writing glyphs. She writes 10 glyphs depicting the 10 foolish attributes in the throne room. And then she writes a paragraph next to each glyph in women's script about how the queen exemplifies them. And then apparently she gets killed and the Alethi people of Alethkar rise up and burn the city to the ground.
Rise up.
So I don't really understand how the fuck this happened. Like,
well, so
Lahan should have done a better job covering up the church and not letting people know that the glyphs were drawn, but I guess he fucked that up.
Well, he slept in because he has no schedule.
That's true. He's like us. He's a content creator.
Yeah, 100%.
The Ardents really are just the content creators of this world.
Yeah, except we're not slaves.
I mean, we're slaves to like Google and Amazon.
We're slaves to capitalism.
We're slaves to but aren't we all slaves to capitalism?
Yes.
Ethical consumption on all that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a great poster that said the only ethical consumption under capitalism is pussy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. It was a good joke. Yeah, so apparently
it's not Alethkar, but the capital. Isn't the capital Alethkar?
No,
Kholinar,
the like province is Alethkar, I think. Yeah, so Kholinar sucks, man.
Slave to the algorithm. That's true.
We are slaves to the algorithm.
That's actually not true because we don't really do a good job of playing into. We could do much better playing into the algorithm.
Like the video. Do it. Smash that like button.
We kind of like say that shit at the end of videos, but we don't do the like 10 seconds into the video, pause everything to do a full call out to liking and subscribing.
Yeah,
we should. It works, but
yeah, we also like turned off mid-roll ads and shit. Like,
we did turn off mid-roll.
We are the worst content creators because we don't call to action and we do not really do ads.
Yeah, we also like almost all of our content is free. Like the content that you get if you pay for on Patreon.
It's true, guys. We're really bad at this.
But here's the thing: we could make way more money, but we make enough money that it just I don't know. It just doesn't feel like we need to be like as pushy about it as other people are.
I think the reason, and something that I'm like coming to realize, the reason like people are pushy about having to like make more and more and more money as a content creator is because like people don't treat it as a real job. Like if we want to buy a house, we're gonna have to fucking fight tooth and nail with the bank to trust us that we like actually make money. And so I get the like, a part of me does understand that just wanting to have like the cash there because who the fuck knows what could happen. I don't know, but yeah, I do hate that mentality of like everything is always about I just need to make more money, which is why we're bad at this.
Yeah. James Josh just brought up Clark's music reaction from the other day. A, it tanked. But B, it's also not monetized. So, like, that video cannot make money.
Yeah. Music
Arzu,
reactions can't. Thank you, Arzu.
We like being bad at it. The weird thing is, like, we stumbled back-asswards into making money on this show. Because I really did not... Like, when I was like, yeah, you can pay us $100 to commission a chapter reaction, I thought that was enough money that no one would ever do it.
Yeah.
I was intentionally trying to be a bad content creator because I didn't want to do audiobook reactions. And so I was like, I'll just make it too expensive to be justified. And I was just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what happened.
Yeah. Oops. Well, because we also were like, $100 for an episode of Attack on Titan. Like, we were like, oh, whatever, just $100. Whatever it is.
Thank God no one has paid that.
Honestly, though.
Because it's like, it would only be, I think it's like $1,000 to get us to watch the end of Attack on Titan. And like, I really, that one I was a little worried someone would actually do after the audiobook reaction started to go up.
Yep.
Anyway. Anyway.
We love you guys.
So yeah, what do you think about the riots in the protest of Pi being killed? Is it because she's an Ardent and they don't believe in killing Ardents?
No, I have a feeling it has to do more with like Kholinar is actually a gigantic hot fucking mess. And we just don't know it yet because we haven't had anyone's perspective from there. And it was already like ready to burst. Or Pi, like, and maybe Pi was part of the, like, what's it called? The plan that Taravangian has? The diagram?
Yeah.
Maybe this was part of the diagram?
I kind of wish that before the riots, we had gotten to spend a little bit more time there. It does feel like...
It feels very sudden, but it does also, the interludes kind of feel unrelated in a weird way. And so that's why I'm trying to relate them. I'm like, oh, maybe Pi works for Taravangian, or maybe Pi works for the Ghostbloods, or... You never know. I genuinely, though, I think that by the sounds of it, Kholinar was a absolute fucking disaster of a city that was just ready to ignite.
No, it's more about it being igniting over the words of a Ardent that I'm like, is it... I wish I understood the relationship with the Ardentia, I guess, more is what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't think it actually is to do with the Ardentia. I think it has to do with the truth behind Pi's words. That, like,
do you think that if it had been a male Ardent, do you think this is one of those things where it's like because it was a woman, even though we're not supposed to see Ardents as male and female, the book kind of keeps pushing that they still do? Do you think that because it was a young girl that the reaction was stronger? Is this Brandon Sanderson making another criticism on the, like, genderlessness not really being real?
Maybe. But,
I'm not trying to say that Brandon Sanderson's making a comment on, like, non-binaryism in real life. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah. I think that the queen being spoiled and being called out on it by a young person, basically a child.
Yeah.
And murdering that child for calling them out, like, it's not a good look. It is not a good look.
Linus Hickstrom, thank you for that super chat. No one would pay $100 for a reaction. Well, if it was real dollars and not Canadian. Here's the thing. It was supposed to be $100 American. And then we just didn't realize that it wasn't $100 American for forever. And so there was a point where we were like, well, we can't change it now.
No, yeah. We were like, we're not going to be like, actually, it's $100 USD.
Yeah.
Like,
that would make us look like shit. This is what I mean about us being bad at it. We were supposed to be charging $100 American for these reactions. And then when you guys just paid us $100 Canadian, we went, it's fine.
Yeah, like,
we are the worst at, like, monetizing content, which is wild because we do so well. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe the people who are trying to monetize our content like crazy and are annoying about it aren't doing as well because it's annoying. Maybe. And by not being annoying about it.
Chat, are we annoying? You can answer that honestly.
Yeah. Judah, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
It has also been 6 years since the king was home.
That's what I mean. It's kind of seems like it's just fallen the fuck up.
I don't know why that would matter, honestly, though. Like I don't think, like, the king... If the queen was doing a good job, I don't think it would matter whether the king was there or not. I don't think the queen is
doing anything.
Yeah, I think that's more the problem than the king not being there, though. Right? Because there is a government in place.
Would Elhokar be any more attentive than his wife? I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That is obviously up for debate. I don't know if things would be any different. But yeah, no, having the king and therefore your, like, center of government be at war in a completely different place kind of just is like, no shit, things are gonna fall the fuck apart.
Dalinar would be. Dalinar would keep things in track because he's a tyrant. Mm-hmm. Interlude 13, I really liked Pi. I'm sad she's dead. I thought she was a very interesting character, and I wanted to get more into the how you can be a denial person. That just sounds very fascinating. Like, the fact that she only eats, like, melted beef tallow or like meat tallow is her entire diet is water and fat, which is wild.
Awful.
Like, she was gonna die eventually anyway because there's no way you live long on that.
No, there's so many micronutrients that she is missing out on.
Oh, and if she were to get sick, like, maybe her immune system would be so fucked. Yeah. No, she has to be getting vitamin C somehow. She'd get fucking scurvy. Beef tallow does not have vitamins in it. This girl has no vitamins.
Maybe they don't have scurvy.
Oh, there's no scurvy in Roshar?
Maybe. Yeah.
That'd be nice. So we go to Interlude 13. which is Eshonai and Venli are hanging out, having a little sister chat.
Venli is so sus.
Venli's so evil.
Venli is Odium's champion already.
Yeah. Venli might end up being Odium's champion.
Oh, I was gonna say she might already be that.
No, because Dalinar still has to convince Odium that he needs to choose a champion.
No,
that's gonna have to be plot at some point.
No, the Almighty is dead. The Almighty is just guessing. He might have a champion already.
Oh, Gavilar might have already done that part.
Yeah, force the hand of it.
That might have been part of the diagram that's completed. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't fucking know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Anyways, Venli sucks. Venli sucks so bad. Like, oh my god.
Wait, you guys are saying it's not beef, but it's grain? But she says that it's tallow. That's like melted fat from like meat. You don't get fat off of grain.
I don't know.
Do you have the Kindle? No.
No. Guys, I don't fucking know.
I thought she said that she eats like fucking...
The audiobook sounds like tallow. But it's spelled differently.
Oh. Isn't Tallow a Pokemon? It's Tailo.
Swellow.
But close.
Swellow and Tailo, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. Then that's one of those audiobook things where I was like, oh, she's literally just eating like the fat off of one of these crabs.
Talu. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting.
All right. Then we get to the interesting interlude, which we did react to. And
one more thing I want to say about the Eshonai Venli conversation is that it comes across like Venli knew that the effects that the storm form was going to have on Eshonai before she took it somehow.
Yeah.
Which means that there's songs that aren't public.
Yeah.
So Taravangian has a library that has information nobody else has, and Venli has a library that nobody else has.
Yeah.
Is it the same library?
No.
Do you think that Venli and Taravangian are working together?
No.
And that's how Taravangian knows about Seth?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm just like, how did the Parshendi get Zeth's Oathstone? And if it came through the diagram, like Taravangian passing it off through the diagram, I could see it happening.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think... I don't fucking know. Yeah. Anyways.
Taravangian, Interlude 14.
There is a reaction to this for all y'all who got gifted memberships. Go enjoy, okay?
Yeah.
Go enjoy an hour-long, like, fucking wade through war-ravaged Yakoved.
Yeah. So we find out that Taravangian has a disease where every single day he wakes up at a different level of intelligence. And
that's some magic bullshit.
Yeah, it is interesting, right? Because it does kind of come with the implication that Taravangian is a different person every day.
Yeah.
Or that he has multiple personalities.
Yeah,
or...
which we talked about this. I like your empathy and your intelligence and your emotional stability are all things that like make you who you are. So Taravangian is not a person. Yeah,
in a weird way he isn't, right? Mm-hmm. He kind of isn't. He is on some days, right?
I just want to, just really quick while it's on my brain, for bingo stuff, please just let the mods call that, because once we open the floodgates for anybody calling anything, we're just gonna leave that to the mods, please and thank you.
Yeah. Roger Lie's right. It's more of a condition than a disease. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea how... Well, that's not true. I think that it happened from cultivation.
Yeah.
Because he asked for the capacity to be able to save the world.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's sort of more like when you get a genie wish and your DM comes up with a way to fuck with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure does.
So... The old magic has made him... this way.
Yeah.
Which in some ways is so interesting because the Taravangian that existed before this doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
And it's a weird way of viewing it, but like there is no consistency to him. And so therefore his perception changes every day. And who we are is really our perception, right?
His lived experience is the same. So I guess he's half a person.
Not really. He doesn't understand himself probably a third of his days he doesn't understand his past actions. Like he's basically gone. And so your ability to trust him. What's interesting about this is that he has set up this system where he is allowed to do more on days where he is smarter, where he has to take this long series of tests. Basically, he has to take the SAT every morning.
Yeah, it's a fucking hour-long diploma test. Jesus Christ.
He is allowed to enact more policy and more change when he is smarter. But by making that the rule, he's only allowed to enact policy when he is less empathetic and less compassionate to other people.
No.
Yes, that is exactly true.
No, he's only allowed to change policy when he's, like, average. Once he hits a certain point, he is not allowed.
That's true. Yeah. But when he's on the lower end of intellect, but higher end on compassion, he's not allowed to change policy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He has to be a certain level of smart, but not too smart.
Yeah.
To be able to enact changes, because the smarter he gets, the less
That's
empathy
true.
he has.
Yeah.
He literally was like...
So he has set it up so that he has a minimum amount of compassion he has to have.
Yes, because on his smart days, he was like, well,
That's
all the
true.
stupid people should kill themselves
so
that we all have it better. And then realized that maybe
you
that's
have
not
to.
good.
I have to decide that you're smart enough to breed is one of the smart ideas that he has.
That was...
But
wild.
Can we get into all the dumb people have to kill themselves thing? Teravangian... This
doesn't
is
understand economics.
Yeah, he's not that smart then.
I'm not that
he wasn't
smart.
actually that smart on that day, because if all of the people who are not that brilliant kill themselves, then your economy immediately collapses and everybody dies. This goes back to like my problem in Cradle. This isn't a huge spoiler for Cradle, don't worry. But where I was like, this society doesn't have farmers, and like society doesn't exist without farmers. And like, look, I'm not saying that farmers are dumb. They're not, but they're not rocket scientists, right? And like but they are arguably more important. Really, 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 really smart people are great. It's awesome that we have them.
We don't have to go to space to survive.
We don't.
But we do need food.
Nowadays we might, because we're in space.
We did that to ourselves.
Like I don't think people vastly underestimate how important plumbers are to modern society. Like, they're just so... There's a reason why plumbers are paid so well. Do you need to be the smartest person in the planet to be a plumber? Not really.
Probably not.
But you need plumbers.
Yeah. And Marie says, and he's basing everything on decisions he made on his smartest day, which implies that he was the least empathetic. And he is still somehow, like, justifying the misery around him because, it's for the greater good.
Yeah. Plumbers are wildly important. And Teravangian, on his smart days, doesn't think we need them. Because he is so smart he doesn't shit. So Teravangian, a day, sometime in the last 6 years, but like further away than like 3 years ago, Teravangian had, they have what, the last 500 days? So at least over 2 years ago, Teravangian had a day where he was so smart, the smartest he's ever been, where he used his super smarts to draw out the events of the coming years, so that he drew out what he calls the diagram, and then created a secret organization called the Diagram. So we're now working with 3 secret organizations.
Yep.
Right? We have the Ghost Bloods, the Diagram, and whoever Mraize is.
But also Teravangian has a Ghost Blood tattoo, so he is both ?
I think he knows about them. I think Teravangian is run in separate groups. I think that him being able to... This is the problem with... Oh, you're one of us because you have a tattoo. Is that you don't actually have to be a member, but you have the tattoo so you can get in on the inside.
Yep.
So Teravangian wrote out the diagram of what he needs to do to save the world.
Yeah.
And the diagram is, because Teravangian isn't actually smart, but he has a magical intelligence that he believes to be smart. He isn't smart enough to realize that the farther he gets away from the predictions he made, the less valid those predictions are.
Yeah, you cannot account for every variability. Yeah. So, you know what? It was probably, like, pretty accurate at first, and then it is just going to slowly get less and less accurate.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's the compassion part for me, the empathy. That's the disconnect where I'm like, you recognize that on your smartest days, you are not empathetic enough to change policy, but you're somehow empathetic enough to change the world.
Oldest Dream says he doesn't have a tattoo.
I thought when Zeth found him, he showed them a tattoo. Like, Zeth walks up to him and he's always like, tattoo.
I actually just want this cleared up. Are we assuming wrong that he has a tattoo? Because I don't want to go down a long road for the next 6 months thinking that Taravangian had a tattoo at one point when he doesn't.
No, he showed it in the Oathstone, apparently.
Because I remember you saying he has a tattoo, but I don't actually remember that in the book.
I thought
you said it and I went, yeah, you're probably right.
He showed him the tattoo, but
okay, he doesn't have a tattoo. Okay, so maybe he's not a ghost blood. I think that you know what it was? I think that we assumed he was a ghost blood because he was dripping blood out of people, and so we went, oh, ghost bloods, that makes sense. I don't think that's actually in the book. I think we just connected blood to blood.
Sure, that makes sense actually, because you were like, oh, ghost blood, what a clever play on words because they're killing people by draining their blood.
Yeah. We just assumed. Yeah. Okay, so anyway.
Oopsie poopsie. It's fine.
So the diagram is from a spren.
Is
at least partially, right?
Well, actually, I thought that the diagram was from cultivation because we believe that cultivation to be the.
But some spren are cultivation spren, and some spren are almighty spren, and then Odium has his own spren.
I thought spren were just spren.
No, I think that there are 3 kinds of spren, and then sub-spren. But I think that there are spren from all of the shards here, because the red lightning ones are Odium spren, right? And then
I thought the red lightning ones were anger spren.
No, but I think that there are ones that come from Odium, there are ones that come from the Almighty, and there are ones that come from cultivation.
Maybe.
Like, I think that Syl is an Almighty spren.
Okay.
And I think that Pattern is a cultivation spren.
Sure?
And I think that that's why they don't work together. I think that the
spren are divided into 3 subsects of spren.
Yeah, I think that if you are an almighty spren,
but the almighty die.
Right. But they're all like the descendants of, right? I think that if they're a spren that's a descendant of the almighty, they can't go near the shard bloods because the almighty was betrayed by the shard blades. But I think that Pattern, by being a spren that comes from the line of cultivation, doesn't have that same reaction to shard blades because the cultivation side of the spren wasn't a part of the shardblade disaster.
Okay. Even
though there's a way for Shallan to betray her oaths and kill Pattern, I think that the shardblade thing has to be an almighty tree spren. And I think that that is my thinking behind Shallan's shardblade not affecting Pattern.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true, but that's my thinking.
It's very convoluted, but yeah, I see your point.
I just think that if Odium spren has spren, then why wouldn't cultivation? Why would Odium and the Almighty have spren, but cultivation wouldn't in this world? What would make her different?
If Odium has spren.
Ernest Hill, thank you for that super chat. Chat, time travel doesn't exist. Taravangian super smart's the future. This is not an example of time travel, right? Like, Taravangian guessing the future isn't time travel. The Almighty sending visions to the future is time travel.
Oh God, we're doing that again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
I hope that helps.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We are making the assumption, which is an assumption. We don't know this for sure.
Oh no, I'm theorizing
that the Night Watcher is also cultivation. Like
we know that because of the Lift chapter.
Well, I thought that we guessed it with strong evidence.
I thought that the Wordle made that connection for us.
Oh, said explicitly.
Yeah, the old magic is cultivation because the Wordle said that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's why. So we're pretty strong on that. Okay, because I was like, we're kind of basing this off of. Okay, cool. So yeah, cultivation. Also, then took away Dalinar's memory of his wife.
Yeah.
Damn. She's a cold mistress.
That's what he asked for.
No.
I think it is.
She took it as payment for what he did ask for. Because you can ask for something, but she will also take something from you, and what she took was the memories. We just haven't learned yet what he asked for.
Sure. So then what was taken from Taravangian?
maybe that is this balance of some days he's dumb and some days he's smart.
Oh, that's fair.
Like,
what did she take from Lift then, do you think? We'll find out later. We'll probably find out in Edge Dancer.
Yeah.
All right. So Taravangian is in Yakaved. He sent healers ahead. And so he is basically the most loved person in Yakaved at this point.
Yeah, he sent food and healers.
Even though he also started this war by sending Zeth Son Villano to kill the king. And so he meets a bunch of people. He basically goes around shaking hands. Howie Mandel could never. And...
Sure.
Zeth shows up, and they're like, "What the fuck, Zeth? What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I fought a Surge Binder." And he's like, "What do you mean you fought a Surge Binder?" And then Taravangian goes, "Oh, Yasna must have faked her death, and she must be alive." Which is like, how fucking hell, man. This guy knows everything. And so he knows about Yasna. And Zeth is like, "No, I fought him in the sky. He was a Surge Binder." And Taravangian's like, "A male? Fuck."
Fascinating. Okay.
God damn it. He must have had powers because of an honor blade. He wasn't a Surge Binder.
No,
he was like you.
Had a special sword.
So Zeth isn't a Radiant.
No.
Because Zeth goes, no, he was Radiant.
Yeah, but that's why Syl said that he was weird.
Yeah. Because he's stealing the power of a Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of like when someone gets in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, Taravangian has heard of Kaladin, of this bridge crew that did some cool shit. But Taravangian has not heard of Dalinar's visions.
No, he has heard of Dalinar's visions. We've already gone into this. He doesn't care that Dalinar's having visions.
No, he doesn't know. He never mentions it. He's like, Gavilar had visions, and that's why we were working together, and that's how I know the Almighty's dead. But he has seemingly no inkling that Dalinar is also having those same visions.
He doesn't bring it up, but I think that Taravangian knows about Dalinar's visions, but he feels like he got all of the visions in order from Gavilar, so he doesn't need to hear them again.
Then he has to be stupid, because he's doing these fucking death rattle things to try and get all the information to prove his point. Why, on God's green earth, would he not fucking get the same from Dalinar's visions? Because he needs evidence.
Because he thinks they're the same visions.
And so he thinks that he got every vision from Gavilar?
Yeah, because I'm assuming it was a loop, right? Because it's looped for Dalinar.
They play in different order. No, they play in different order.
But it's the same visions, but they play in a different order.
Yeah, but if they're in a different order, how do you know you've seen them all?
Because you start seeing them again.
Yeah, but just because it's not like you go through the whole playlist before you start shuffling. It's just on shuffle.
But maybe he's assuming that they did.
Well, then he's a dumbass. This is what I'm saying. He wants all the information from these death rattles, but he won't take all the information from these, visions. He's like, no, Dalinar needs to die. There's no way he could possibly be useful when having visions from the fucking Almighty.
Oh, no, I agree with that part, but I don't think that the book says whether or not he knows about Dalinar having visions. It just doesn't say anything about it. So to assume that he doesn't know about it when everyone knows about it is weird.
Which is what I'm saying. It is either weird that he doesn't know about it because he knows that the bridge crew has fucking rumors flying around him. Or it's that he's deliberately being no, I don't like Dalinar. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they're both trying to unite the world.
Yeah.
And you would think that having two people trying to do that and then coming together would take half as much time.
Picky Armando brings up, it also sounds like Taravangian implies that Shinovar has the honor blades. It didn't. Yes. I don't know what the implication you mean. He said they have 7 of the honor blades. Yeah,
no, they definitely got those.
I don't know what he just said they have 7 of them. It wasn't really much. There wasn't an implication in it. It wasn't maybe. It was they have we know exactly how many they have.
Yeah.
They somehow got 7 of the honor blades, which means that Shin. So Zeth has 1. Which means that Shin either has 6 more or has 7 other ones.
I think they have 7 other ones.
Which means that there are at least 2, if not 3, unaccounted for. Mm-hmm. One of which is in the Shattered Plains, which is Taln's, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which you got Salethkar with, which means there are 2, there's 1 or 2 honor blades that are not accounted for at all.
Not accounted for, yeah.
And one of those might be Shallan's.
Maybe. Yeah.
So he's able to convince Seth that... Kaladin is just another honor blade wielder, and he says, go kill Dalinar, get your ass back there, don't fight Dalinar, or don't fight Kaladin, ignore him.
Yeah, stay away from him.
He doesn't know about Kaladin yet.
It's a bad influence on you.
Part of the diagram is it says, I'm trying to remember the exact words, but I don't think I'm going to. It basically says that remember the Radiance, basically in order to find the Radiance, find people who survive weirdly.
When they shouldn't, yeah.
And so he's like, hey, the bridge people survived weirdly. Go find out, send all of your agents to find out if there's anyone. He has this one friend who's been with him his whole life. Wake the sleeper agents. Cute. Wake the sleepers. Find out if there's rumors about one...
Which Amaram is, question mark, because Amaram was working with Gavilar, and if Gavilar was working with Taravangian, then stands to reason that Taravangian, Gavilar, and Amaram are all working together and know one another.
Yeah, Amaram is probably in the diagram. I agree with that. Because I don't think Maraise is in the diagram. Okay, so one of two things is happening. Either Amaram is in the diagram, or Maraise is in the diagram.
Maraise, who's that?
The blow dart person that Shallan is working with.
No, he's a ghost blood, so it feels
Is he a ghost blood? He's a ghost blood.
Yeah.
So then Amaram's got to be diagram.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yes, because Amaram and Gavilar were working together. We know
Unless
that.
Amaram is a third thing and diagram is separate.
You mean a fourth?
Yeah. So Maraise is ghost blood. God, keeping track. No, there's three groups.
Yes.
I know there's 3 groups.
Yes.
I just can't fucking figure out who's in which one. Because Taravangian I thought was a ghost blood. This is so complicated. And it isn't even the fucking plot of the book. This is literally all just random background shit.
That's definitely going to be important.
Oh, it's so important. I'm not saying it's not important, but there's an actual plot going on. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here trying to figure out which of these fucking characters with a name I can't pronounce is in a fucking group I can't pronounce.
Plus, welcome to the Nerds Radiant.
What's up? Plus, thank you for joining the Nerds Radiant.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, this was a lot. Taravangian goes to see the king of Vadenar, who is dying. And the king is like, man, you had a good plan here. Yeah, you did good. All right, son, bastard, kill me, stab me. Thank you, appreciate that. And he dies. Yeah,
it's a great death. And honestly, the bastard getting fucked over one last time by not being able to hunt the crown now that he's committed patricide is so fucking petty.
Well, and the king is like, you wanted to steal my throne? Well, I'm gonna give it to you. Fucking...
You're the king now. Have fun.
Yeah. And Taravangian's like, oh, all of the high princes are dead. So you're not actually fucking with anybody. And he's like, wait, all of them? Yeah. Yeah, no, all of them.
Yeah, it's good. And that's the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird end to a book. It's crazy that nothing comes after this.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys when the next book comes out in January. What a weird place to leave off.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened in this novel.
No, not a lot.
Yeah. No, we're going to react to every fucking chapter this week. Linus, that's mostly your fault. You know it. This was good. This was my favorite week of reading on this book so far, weirdly. Because it started to pay off a lot of the setup. I feel like we're headed towards the end here.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried the end of this book is just going to be sad. I'm worried it's going to just be depressing.
Yeah.
Because this book has been heavy. I think what I liked about this week is that it wasn't heavy. It was a nice bit of lightness, weirdly.
There was some levity to it, even though we did watch Shallan murder her father while singing to him, so...
But that was the only super depressing thing. I guess, the King of Yakaved moment, but even that was kind of, rad in, the way he handled it. He went out like such a fucking champ about it.
Yeah, true. Next week's book club is also Friday. I am sorry for the confusion on that.
Yes, no book club on Thursday. Book club Friday, book club normal time.
Is Friday. Yeah. Apologies. Don't worry about it. I'm excited to see what inspiration you guys have dropped in the Discord for our new house. Yeah. We got 5 minutes to get out of here on time to go for brunch for our anniversary.
Happy anniversary, babe.
I love brunch, guys.
This is gonna be high-low. This is where Clarisse says her high, I say my low, she says her low, I say my high, because we compliment Sandwich this beach. And my family did it around the dinner table when I was a kid, where we would commiserate over each other's lows and celebrate each other's highs. Clarisse, what is your high for the part 5, but not for part 5, but our part 5 of Words of Radiance? That's not confusing.
I know. It is very difficult, I think, to pick a specific moment. I just want to, say that the developing relationship between Shallan and Kaladin and what it made them realize about themselves and one another was one of my favorite readings ever. Relationship scenes, whatever you want to call it, to read. It was so layered. It was so multidimensional. It was heart-wrenching, but also beautiful. It had everything, and I loved it. What is your low?
I didn't really dislike anything. I didn't really have any problems with it, honestly. Like I think I think the Taravangian super intelligence led to some interesting conversations, but it wasn't really a complaint about the book. It was just like,
it was just interesting.
I don't always love super intelligence, but I think it's being used in an interesting way here, and there's a negative, and he's not right. One of the things I think makes a super intelligence work is that there are errors. Yeah. If it was all correct, I would roll my eyes at it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Oh, you know what? The only thing I wanted from this book was, from this section that I didn't get, was Adelin's POV while Shallan was gone. And I love the moment of them coming back together, but I would have really liked to have seen how Adelin was coping while she was gone.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. Just because we've had so much Adelin POV in this book, it was weird to not get his POV at this like very important moment for him.
Yeah.
That's like the closest thing that I could say.
Yeah, for sure. My low is not really a low. It's just that like Venli sucks and is super suspicious. So
my low is fuck that bitch.
Fuck you, Venli.
That's so funny.
You suck. Yeah, that's it. Sure. What's your high?
Oh, my high is the thing that I already said. It's Shallan growing and maturing in the way that she's able to be criticized for her entitlement, accept it and apologize for it, and show so much maturity around the realization she has in that moment.
Yeah.
It made me like that character very much, and I am a Shallan fan now. Yeah. I'm firmly on the fan column.
Shallan stan.
I still think like, it's interesting. I think that she almost feels like a different character in this book, but I didn't really like her character in Way of Kings, so I don't mind that. Like, I think that this is I would rather have this character in the series. Mm-hmm. And so if I do a reread of the series, I think whatever gymnastics I have to do to make that the kind of less three-dimensional version of her in the first book filled out to fit this book, I'll do, because I think that her journey in this book is great. And I think that whatever sort of like paint by numbers-y kind of complaints I had about her in the first book, Brandon Sanderson clearly took a step forward in book 2 with the character and really filled her out into somebody I think is fascinating and just a great read.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, she has quickly become one of my favorite characters ever. Carrie
says, Nerdy, I loved how not dark this part was, but I wish we could have gotten more on Adelin mourning his dead girlfriend. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
That's book club.
We're going to go eat brunch because it's our anniversary, which we found out at the beginning of the show. Well, you knew since 4 a.m., but I found out at the beginning of the show because I'm a terrible husband.
We've been a little bit busy, guys. I hope that's okay. But make sure you like the video.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
Sylfrena. She's dead.
Yeah, she screamed in pain and then died.
Yeah, sucks to suck, I guess.
Sucks to suck. If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight. All right, Claris, we have 4 minutes. Smut.
4 minutes, we have 1 minute.
We have 1 minute. Smut. Everybody.
That's the problem, is I like got ahead of myself and I was like, what if the soul casters can like just like
make your penis big?
Yeah.
Honestly, nobody's fucking in this section. Everyone thinks everybody's dead.
Yeah, that does make it a little bit weird.
Oh, no, Pi, the Ardent of Denial, definitely masturbates
Edges.
But never comes.
Yeah, just constantly edging.
She has a vibrator on her clit at all times, but never comes.
Yeah, not allowed.
Yeah.
That is the thing of that is denial.
Yeah. And she edged so hard that in that moment of execution, that release of life, she had the craziest orgasm and died just in bliss.
Orgasm spren everywhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Showered the crowd with orgasm spren.
Do you think that orgasm spren are from Odium, the Almighty, or Cultivation?
Cultivation. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, no one's really like fucking.
Yeah, because everyone's sad that they're dead.
I know.
You know, it's a section where everyone is waiting for Kaladin and Shallan to get back. No one's like boning down. The Parshendi. No, the Parshendi, they get into storm form and they're like, let's see what it can do. And they just have a crazy storm orgy. There's like lightning shooting off of dicks. It's great. Bye. Thanks, mods.
Bye.